Better?
Yes.
That's better.
Yay!
All right. So let's. The channel.
I feel like
is
Christiana should
not-
at least put on some zero prescription glasses.
What? I've got sunglasses. I have my
Mickey, you're the only one who has good eyesight around here.
I don't. I wear contact lenses.
Oh, fair point.
Yeah. I always have my glasses on in 5 More Minutes videos. But hello, everyone, and welcome to Adventure on so many levels. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Yay!
Yay!
I didn't do it right though because this is so many levels. Rime of the Frostmaiden.
And I had a white Christmas.
Yeah.
So did I.
Ooh.
So did I,
Oh,
sort of.
yeah. Well, Blizzard 2 days before Christmas, so yeah.
Not
Frost-
me. It was 50s and raining.
Yeah. Just this side of freezing and raining. It was awful.
In fact, actually, we had sort of the opposite of White Christmas in the sense that the rain was literally melting all of the snow that was left on the ground. So,
Oh, wow.
but it's fine. It's all good. I hope everybody had a happy holiday. I am Christiana Ellis, the Dungeon Master. Our players tonight, Lee Burdett as Iggy,
Hello.
Nobilis Reed as Marcher Northwind, even though I have everyone in the wrong spots.
Oh,
Greetings.
David Archambault as Wilfred Cole.
Hello.
Jason Banks as Rowan Gregor.
What's going on, guys?
Paul Weimer as Aule.
salve.
And that's everyone because I said Nobilis already.
Yay!
So, here we are, Boxing Day, ready to continue our adventure. Last week, the Seekers achieved what seems like a meaningful step in defying the Frostmaiden's curse. You found an old cabin where apparently a researcher was trying to invent a magic device to control the weather and blew himself up by accident. But you helped set his spirit to rest by fixing his device and using it to, if only temporarily, change the weather here for a 5-mile radius, and received the blessing of the Morning Lord in thanks. I don't want to speak for your characters, but it seems like it would be something that if it were me, I would be pleased.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It has
We struck a blow against the Frostmaiden. That's what Ollie's all about. So yeah.
it has great ups, but also we're going against a god.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Christiana, did you tweet the
Oh, you know
the
what?
thing?
I didn't.
I like to retweet it when you put it out. So.
Yes. Well, if everyone wants to do their own recaps for a moment, I will do that tweet right now.
Yeah, so
You were attacked by a bunch of weird undead things, and
that I knew existed.
and you knew existed all this time.
Yes.
It's true.
we prevailed. I believe it was kind of touch and go for a little while.
Yeah, they decided that they could, create fog in large radiuses.
Yes.
That was not fun.
That took a bit of
It was an interesting tactical situation,
Yes.
at the very least. At least Wilfred did not bring the wooden house down on himself.
Yes.
Although he did.
Close.
Although Iggy did fall into a hole, but Iggy got better.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
that was a miracle in and of itself.
Yes. Yes. That was.
Clutch
There was
that
no
20.
chance of us getting to the bottom of that hole by the time you had to make your death saves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not except unless this was some sort of movie. Yeah, that would.
Yeah.
But it worked out because Iggy turned out to have a surprise reserve of fortitude or luck or something.
Yeah,
that,
or a
brought
really
them-
pissed off Hexblade.
So
That has also happened before.
the tweet has gone out, and now people who follow me on Twitter will have seen a tweet if they were looking at that exact moment.
Yay!
But so, I think our party all got to level up. They are level 5 now, and they get to have their first in probably a long time night's sleep under the stars, where it is not nearly as cold as usual, although still just below freezing, so as to
Yes.
not cause floods and melting, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we can say that you all set watches, but nothing else happens over the course of the night. But who would have been on the last watch?
I think Marcher would have been.
Yeah, I think it's usually March.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
Usually with with someone else, but yes.
But you have a bear now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
have a
Yeah.
someone
So-
else.
So
yeah.
yeah, it would be Marcher and Lily.
okay.
And one thing I definitely would want to specify is that that our camp is decently away from the house.
And that
And
crumbling
the growing
edge.
chasm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So as you are, well, here I'll go ahead and put us on the Icewind Dale. Well, you guys are seeing the Icewind Dale map already,
Yeah.
anyway. But as you're carrying out your watch, there's not any glow of sunrise or anything yet, because it's still early. So even the brief twilight is a ways off, and you guys are currently almost at a new moon, just a few days away from the new moon.
There's just a sliver of a crescent moon.
Yeah, yeah. So it's pretty dark, but the fact that the weather has been comparatively so mild and clear, kind of, you have kind of a spot where you can see quite a ways. And what you see heading your way from the approximate, east direction, you see a large figure moving in your direction. This is, approximately humanoid in shape, but big. And a little hard to see because whatever kind of furs or whatever they're wearing is all white, but moving towards your camp. They're a ways
Okay.
off still when you spot them.
Okay. And this is during my watch.
Yeah.
How close to the end of the watch are we?
Just almost over.
Okay. So I'll wake everybody up. It's like, hey, someone coming.
Okay. So by humanoid figure, do you mean human
arms, two
size,
legs.
Goliath size, Dragonborn size?
I mean,
giant-
like bigger than Goliath size,
Okay.
like a large creature.
Giant.
Okay. So this could be fun.
You would guess something like 10 feet tall. So not like a huge frost giant, but bigger than a person for sure.
Maybe a hill giant or something. Okay.
Well, even hill giants are like 20 feet, I think.
Oh, I
15,
thought hill
20
giants are smaller than frost giants.
Nope.
Yes.
Well,
I might be in the wrong edition.
hill giants are smaller than frost giants, but frost giants are like 25 feet and up.
You
In any case, not that big, still bigger than you.
so, for as many trips as we've taken out into the tundra with no one knowing where we're going, it seems to attract so much attention.
Well, we aren't exactly subtle.
It's also true that currently you're in the center of a 5-mile radius circle where the weather changed dramatically all of a sudden.
It went from the negatives to almost 32 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And we kind of do things to attract attention.
And no offense, Rowan, but our last two people trekking us into the wilderness were involved with you.
Yeah.
So this is not entirely, our fault here.
Touche.
Well, so
Unless
here's
this is my secret
I
coming
would
to meet us.
I would like anyone proficient with survival to make a check for me.
Well,
Oh, that's a bunch of us, including me. Let's get this. What's my survival these days?
Not me.
Yep, I did not roll well.
Only a 14.
oh God. I have a +6 and only rolled an 11.
I did better than the ranger. That's not normal.
Okay.
It's not normal.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't
Oh,
know.
it's plus 5. Oh, it should have been plus 5 actually. So I forgot my plus 5.
19.
Action's a
So
19.
Okay. Yeah. You think they are following your tracks?
Yeah, I think they're following our path. So they're
Yeah.
not people coming directly because of the heat. They're
Well,
trailing us.
shall we go out and see what they want, or should we?
I mean, we see them coming, and they obviously have our trail, so I don't
Well,
think there's really a
As they're
reason.
getting a little closer, you guys can make a perception check if you want to try to see more about them.
Oh,
Regular or disadvantage?
Disadvantage if you don't have dark vision, because it is. Well, I think it would at this distance it would be disadvantage for everyone too, because it's dark, and they blend in anyway.
Oh my gosh.
I have to assume, based on my rolls, that Iggy is just not awake right now.
a 12.
Yeah, I got let's see.
Rolling at
Wow.
disadvantage, I got a dirty 20.
Yeah, 20 or
Nice.
22. Well
It
done.
actually makes perfect sense here that it is Marcher that would figure this out first, because while others would be able to start to spot certain kinds of features, you, once you get a better look, know exactly what this is. It's a werebear.
Huh.
So
we
it is
then we
a
definitely
10-foot
want to wait
tall
and see what they have to say.
hybrid form, like very much like a polar bear that is got a more humanoid skeleton to them, but like a polar bear face, and about like 10 to 12 feet tall,
This is
and wearing like
Marcher
gear.
uses the giantish word for a werebear, which is bear walker or something
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
So
let
this
me.
is a
Oh,
we
yeah.
know of this. Our people know of their people. We should wait and talk and see what they want.
Would it be about this time that the control weather would be wearing off?
Yes, because it was so it lasted for 8 hours, which means that like it would have you did it before the fight, which wouldn't have actually lasted that long, but it wears off gradually. So I would say by now it's getting colder, but it is not yet back to normal.
So yeah. So I think perhaps maybe if are werebears as bad as werewolves, or like,
So I think what Marcher knows is that they are not. They're not like werewolves. Like they have the lycanthropy curse, but the nature of the curse actually tends them towards lawful good, as opposed to chaotic evil like werewolves. Now that said, they generally don't like hanging around normal people. That does
Which of
not
us
make
is
them-
normal?
It does not make them friendly, but it means that generally speaking, they tend towards good behavior, good alignment rather than evil.
If they are seeking us out, it is because
Goliath
they have something
werebear.
important
Oh,
Yeah,
to
so
say.
here's this handout I've just shared with you. So this
Oh,
this
that's
is
awesome.
what you guys see approaching.
He's got a fishing pole.
No, I like the kilt. That's awesome.
well, I mean, since it's getting colder, everything's going back to normal. Maybe use some of the cabin, which I like to think it's just kind of lying in ruins, having collapsed.
Did it collapse? I thought we
No,
came close, but it didn't actually collapse.
It was looking increasingly rickety, though.
Or take some of the wood from the cabin and just start a fire, and when the Goliath gets here, or when the werebear gets here, just invite him to take a seat.
Yeah. Wilfred pulls a piece off the cabin, then it collapses.
Marcher, make a history check. If you don't have
Okay.
history, that's fine. Just intelligence check.
I don't have much intelligence either. But I rolled a 20!
Okay, you
We're hot
know
today.
you know specifically werebears don't like fire.
Okay.
Like to the point where it's a thing. It's not just a casual dislike. It is like if you have a fire going, they might not approach at all.
Okay. It was so when Wilfred starts to work on a fire, it's like, no, don't put it away. Fire is one of the things that can hurt them. They won't come if there's a fire.
Oh, okay.
I scored
Take
a
a-
natural 20 there.
Take some of the yeah. So just kind of
Just wait. Just wait.
No,
See
just-
what he has to say.
stick a piece of wood in the snow and cast light on it.
Yeah. By the way, I think Lee, you were talking about like based on rolls, it's like Iggy hasn't actually woken up yet. Well,
Yeah.
I think that I want to run with that because what's actually happening is that you are having a nightmare where you have for a brief period found that you don't remember anything about who you are or where you've ever come from or what you can do or what languages you speak.
Oh, that's so meta.
Oh,
You just you feel for a moment like you've lost your entire identity and that you still, the only thing you know is that you have the sword and the sword is telling you what to do, and you're realizing in this dream that like this is what the sword would prefer, is if it was able to just have you as a totally blank slate that it can order around. And so it's probably scary for you, but you feel in the dream like this might have been the sword's doing, and it is definitely what it wants. But you also have, just as you're starting to wake up, you hear a glimmer of that strange alarm sound again,
Uh-huh.
and the sword's voice in your head saying, tick tock, tick tock. And then you wake up to realize everyone else is like making a fuss about someone coming.
That's creepy.
Yeah. I'm going to kind of push myself back towards the edge of the clearing, like near some bushes,
Mm-hmm.
where I can kind of, if I need to, I can cast invisibility and get away.
Mm-hmm.
He will be able to smell you.
But I'm not saying that out loud.
Wilfred
no,
turns to you and says, "Good, you're finally awake."
So, before we, with that natural 20, Marcher, I'll also just give you a little bit about, like, what you know about because they're Goliath werebears specifically. Right. And another thing that is unlike werewolves is that they, generally speaking, like, they do not pass on their curse. Like, or if they ever did, it would only be to someone who specifically wanted it.
Right. Someone that who they decided to add to their community.
Yes, exactly. And so it would definitely not be something that they, would ever do to someone who didn't want it. Like, even if they're fighting someone to the death, they wouldn't bite because they don't want to pass on the curse.
Right.
But they are nonetheless the sort that wander the wilderness by themselves. They're not big on social graces, and they tend to be pretty brusque and impatient when interfered with. Um, but again, you know that so it's I think it's sometimes given as like a highlight of the lesson that good and nice are not the same thing,
Yes.
Mhm.
and that werebears are good but generally not nice.
Yes.
Versus, you know, the idea of like a devil, which might cozy up and be very polite and friendly, but actually have ulterior motives, right?
Mhm.
So in any case, you have all kind of prepared yourselves. What? How are you? What is your body language, everybody, as this this werebear is approaching? Because they're definitely heading straight for you. It's
Yeah.
obvious.
How does my tribe? I mean, I know that there is a certain level of reverence,
Mm-hmm.
but um, how does my people normally
I don't
treat
know
me?
that there's a specific ritual. It's true that usually when a Goliath goes out seeking Oyarminotok, which is like
Yeah.
the Goliath werebear, not the
Hmm.
only one, but
But yeah,
like the one, right, that
right,
everybody knows. Generally speaking, it's like as a trial of strength or bravery or something to challenge them
right,
to a fight.
right.
Um, that's generally the only reason anyone goes looking for them.
Okay. So, and there's if it's the kind of thing that happens rarely, but there's probably some kind of ritual associated with that kind of I'm coming here to prove my strength
Hmm.
so that they know that it's not just an attack.
Right.
You don't just happen to see where we're going by and it's like, oh hey, wah, right?
Yeah.
You go to their village or whatever and you
Hmm.
present yourself and
Yeah.
and there's probably a certain amount of ritual associated
Well,
with that. So
you would essentially issue a formal challenge. You wouldn't just rush
right,
at them. You would
right,
say,
yeah. So
"You
yeah,
there?
so
I, as Goliath, I will do this now." That sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. So as they get closer, um, uh, Marcher stands as tall as he is, which is not that tall compared to these guys,
Hmm.
um, and kind of a neutral posture. Not having his weapons out or anything like that, um, and um, just
Maybe a little uncertain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just trying to think of how to address them, and I think
Hmm.
I think if you haven't got something else in mind, I think that like a term of respect and like familiarity, but not over familiarity, might be that they address
Yeah,
them
it would
as
be something like "I know of you," that sort of thing.
yeah, yeah. I know, and like
I have heard your name.
I've heard your name, and perhaps refer to them as cousin.
Okay, sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
How does Lila uh react?
I think Lila looks like a little concerned, but is still kind of.
Yeah.
I think there's a
Marcher calms
sense.
Lila down.
Well, I was just gonna say like concerned, but not doing anything, like not fleeing, not attacking, agitated, but just staying in place, almost
Yeah,
like there's something happening there.
yeah.
Um,
So
but
Marcher stands next to Lila, hand on his flank, and just waits for the werebear to get closer.
so the werebear approaches to about 30 feet away. You can see at this distance it is a female werebear,
Okay.
um, and
Pull my
she
hood down to so that I
mhm.
can see who that I'm a Goliath.
And she approaches. She's got some goggles on and lifts those up, and she's got like this polar bear face, right? And just kind of looks around at all of you with her hands on her hips, and just says, "Did you lot make the weather warm?"
Uh, members of our group, yes.
You, and points to you, Marcher.
Uh-huh.
How come you got an owl bear?
Uh, it's a knack. A gift. I pat it on the shoulder. It's not exactly tame, but it listens to me, and he gets fed really well, so it works out.
Huh, well, that'll do it. The food and the knack, that is.
I mean, it's not like I don't know any other magic.
Yeah, I see you got the horns or
Yeah,
whatnot.
I was born from a dragon's egg,
Ah, yeah, I heard about that.
or at least that's the story I'm told. I was not paying attention at the time.
Hmm. Well, you had a lot going on.
Hmm, yes, and has been. But
So,
cousin, yes,
oh,
you have business for us.
well, my business was figuring out why the weather got so warm. Anyone, you all want to enlighten me?
Well, if it is all right if I tell someone else's story, uh, a friend of someone we met asked us to check in on a friend of theirs who lived in this cabin, and we looked around, and they were doing magic experiments, and hadn't got it quite right. And as you see, the place is in not in terribly great shape because they got it wrong.
Hmm.
And my friends here figured out what was wrong and did it right, and got the magic thing going right, and it changed the weather for a while, and then burned itself out. So it's that's all there is.
Can I see it?
Yeah, we still got the pieces.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't break apart. It's still whole. It's just inert right now.
All right, so
Wilfred will take it out and hold it up. Not necessarily hand it over, but hold it up to be seen.
Okay. So she approaches, and as she's getting closer, Lila is definitely getting even more like edgy, but again, not running away. There's kind of just like this stare down sort of fascination going on, until the werebear just kind of goes over, kind of crouches down and looks Lila in the eye and just says, "Uh-uh." And Lila just flumps.
We know who the alpha is here.
And then so she goes over and she takes the thing, and it's like it looks tiny in her great big bear paw, but she's kind of, well, I don't know what I expected. I don't know how these things work. Tosses it back to you.
so
So
yeah,
that little thing.
yeah. Well, it's evidently had a lot of magic work done on it, and we just kind of finished it off. I mean, I'm not an expert in these things. So
So
that's true.
all of you were just checking on a guy. That's who you all are.
Well,
You're
I
the
mean,
seekers.
we are the seekers. We have, let's see, before that, we cleared out a nest of Duergar near Kerkronik. And before that, there were the devil worshippers in Kerdinival that we took care of. There's Sefik, yes. Uh, Remind me what Suffolk was.
Servant of the
Undead
Frost
servant.
Maiden.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
undead
was
service of the
undead.
Frostmaiden.
Yes. Ah, yes. There was a servant of the Frost Maiden, and Marcher gestures up at the sky in frustration, who was going around, basically as part of a caravan killing people, and so we eliminated him.
We also just were attacked by servants of the Frost Maiden that we had to take care of as well.
Well, because we had made the weather warm, probably.
But it dwindles our forces a bit.
Let's see. Yeah, we before that we recovered a sledge full of iron that was about to be stolen by goblins, and we got it back and gave it to the right.
all right, I got it like
Recap episode.
a couple minutes ago.
Yes.
I mean, thank you for answering my question, but yeah, I got it.
What's your name, traveler?
Well, I mean, I am Marcher Northwind. This is Aule. That's Wilfred. That's Iggy. And I've forgotten Jace's character's name because I'm bad at this.
Rowan.
Rowan. And we are together seekers. We used to have a longer name, but that turned out to be a bad idea.
Well, a lot of folks around these parts call me the Winter Walker. But Oyar Minotok's the name.
I am very honored to meet you.
Yeah.
Since we're close to London, have I heard rumors of this person?
I mean, I think, yeah, you would have heard, like, some people say there's a werebear that wanders out in the blizzards, and is there more than one? Maybe? Who knows how many, because they just stay out there in the wilderness. But you, like, generally speaking, when you hear people tell stories about them, like, someone will say, like, my sled was caught in a snowdrift, and I thought I was going to freeze to death, and then all of a sudden this gigantic werebear came out of the blizzard and pulled it out of the drift and set me on my way. That sort of thing. But a lot of people say, that seems unlikely. But here they are.
We had heard tell in Bryn Shander, was it? I think that there was a group of humans and their ilk who were going to try to come to Kelvin's cairn to haunt one of your people. I fully expect that if they ever got there, they're meet by now. But I just wanted to mention that we had heard that this was in planning.
One note is that you heard that it was an expedition. You didn't hear that it was humans specifically.
Okay, well,
Okay.
But
There was
that's
an
fine.
expedition.
You know, like it just so happens that it wasn't humans. Is the only reason that I said anything.
well,
but, yeah.
no, I mean he uses the giantish term for non.
Well, the thing is,
The
one
short
of them
people.
was a Goliath who was looking for Oyar Minotaur, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So no, it's not a big deal. Doesn't matter. I'm just saying. All right, you wouldn't have had any way to know that anyway. You just
Right.
like you knew there was an expedition. But yeah. So in any case,
And this may actually, I think actually Marcher would have said that because I heard what was going on and kind of conflated it in my memory. So I'm going to leave that as
Okay.
what Marcher said.
yeah, that's fine. So you just say that like I'm sorry.
Yeah,
did
that there
you
was
say-
an expedition that was going to go. These non Goliaths that was headed for Kelvin's cairn and.
that they were.
Just-
Did you say that they were looking for? Oyar
And
Minotaur?
that they were looking for
Okay.
they did not seem like the kind of people who would have positive outcomes in mind.
Well, I mean, at least one outcome didn't happen because I wasn't up there.
All right. Well,
So
we are
it
not planning
seems,
to head back that direction. So if you want to carry the news back, that maybe would be.
Nah, I think that's fine. It seems like all of you are working really hard on getting yourselves killed by a god of winter's wrath.
Well, we do have a member of our group here who's had actually taken a vow to oppose her. So, yeah, we are kind of on that kind of path, right? It's either glory or destruction.
Is that right? Which one of you is that?
I.
Marcher points to LA. Everybody points to LA. I mean, dragon blood will do that to you.
Well, yeah, and you got the silver. That, yeah, you'll probably last longer than the others.
Well, she's the next PCD.
So here's the thing. I don't like to embroider the details when they're important. So here's what it is. All right. Uh, the Frostmaiden is going to be challenged. There are people who think it's going to be you all, and maybe that's true. But part of what's going to need to happen if that happens is that the two Goliath clans need to get over their shit.
I've known this for a long time. I haven't had the foggiest idea how to accomplish that.
Well, you better figure it out. Because that doesn't happen. I don't see the rest of this going well.
All right. Well, I guess we'll put going back home on the itinerary.
So, on your way, there's a cave where some of the ragged nomads, by and large, I don't hate all of them. But,
Praise.
but some of them have gone a little,
Wrong.
yeah. They found some kind of evil crystal. Those
Bandor?
guys are kind of between you and home right now. I'd advise you make a stopover on your way. Just saying. You got a map? I'll point at it for you.
Destruction or glory? Sure. Let's show them our map.
All right. She highlights the cave of the Berserkers. Boom, boom, boom.
Dun dun dun.
All right.
Oh.
We were planning on making a stop at Lonelywood and then going over to Angajuk's Bell. We heard an interesting legend about that we wanted to look into. But
I mean, the legend is that the Agarjuk will take you to the Frostmaiden, right?
What?
that's not what we heard.
What did you hear?
We heard there was a sea monster attacking ships.
No, that was
Oh, no.
Bremen.
That's Bremen.
That was Bremen.
Yeah, Angajuk's bell is going to the Frostmaiden.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe that's such a good idea after all.
I'm just saying, maybe it doesn't hurt to scout out the territory or whatever. But, yeah, I wouldn't board that boat till you felt like you were ready.
Yeah, well, we do have some
Angajuk's
business
good,
in
though.
mind.
You'll like them.
Well,
You know, if you're heading that way, there's also a frozen pirate ship up there that I'd steer clear of between you and me. I mean, you know, it's the sort of place that's going to attract the wrong element, if you follow me.
But what if we want to deal with the wrong element and cleanse the land of it?
Oh, you
Would
are
we
an
not
eager
want
one,
to know
aren't
where it
you?
is?
paladins, am I right?
Well, if you can't resist, if you get up to where Angajuk's Bell is, you just keep heading west along the coast, you'll find it.
Damn it. Well, thank you for your assistance.
Try not to get yourselves killed before you can deal with the Frostmaiden.
We shall endeavor.
All right.
I'm glad we have your.
And she just like turns to just like walk away.
Oh god.
So,
Eh,
interesting days.
That was an interesting
Ig
conversation.
is just staring at the map
Yeah. And
in ill-disguised horror.
so incidentally, here's the pirate ship, the Dark Duchess here on the map.
The Dark Duchess.
Yeah.
See, we have a reason to go up to the
Now
coast.
was now the we that figurehead that was in the East Haven.
Well, what you heard
Oh.
about that was that it was brought up from the bottom of Lactonishire.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
not from the sea.
That's what you heard.
Oh. Would she know why the animals just started acting weird?
I mean, she started to walk away. Are you gonna like call after her?
No,
Okay.
because it's still a good idea to hunt the moose for the owlbear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ig is a fan of stuff that doesn't get him eaten,
Mhm.
So, well,
or doesn't get them eaten.
that was a very productive day. Morning. Let's see if we can make it more so. We want to
Yeah.
head to Lonelywood, do we not? And perhaps find the moose along the way.
Yeah, we can. This area is familiar to me. We can definitely head south from here, and hit the woods, and then and that's on the edge of Lonelywood.
Yeah. So Lonelywood, since there's not really a road, but you know the way, but it's like it's you're probably gonna have to camp before you would get there, unless you wanted to do like a full double shift.
No.
No, it
No,
wouldn't
no,
be
no.
too bad to camp in the woods though. At least that would keep some of the wind off us.
Sure. Yeah. Well, and for that matter, you could do a little bit of advanced scouting because you haven't heard all of the details, but you know that wood is where supposedly this moose is.
Yeah, I mean I'm hoping that we can find the moose on our way there, rather than having to get there to find it to get more clues. So, yeah, we're definitely going to have our eyes open for moose tracks.
All right. Well, let's see how your travel day goes. Who would like to roll a d8?
I think I did the last one.
I'll do it.
You could have rolled a v8 or d8.
That's why the Germans lost World War II. They could have the big eight.
5.
5.
All right, so let's find where I have that table. Okay.
Feeling pretty good. We killed the things that I thought were haunting me quietly.
All right. Well, what I need now is for someone to roll. I need 2 d4s rolled, so you can have one person roll both of them, or 2 people roll. I need to know both numbers.
I'll roll them. A 1 and a 3.
All right. So, I would say then that we need 2 d20 rolls, or I could roll some. See, I could roll some of these, but I also feel like,
I'll do the d20s.
yeah. I feel like it's more fun for you guys to be responsible for your
For our
own.
own, our own
For our
troubles.
doom.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
a
roll
1
d-
and a 15.
All right. Okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So you get on your way, and you're maybe. All right. Actually, let's get one more a d6 roll.
I'll do it.
Did that one.
Okay, go ahead.
A 1.
A 1. Okay. So. Wow. All right.
Oh boy.
We're just all rolling ones today.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. All right. Hang on. Okay. Okay. So all right. So as you are all on your journey, part of what Rowan's ranger ability lets you do is you can be a little bit more aware of your surroundings while still going full travel speed. So what? Who has the highest passive perception?
I have
Fif-
passive of 14.
15.
Yeah, it'd be me. I'm pretty sure it'd be me. 16.
Okay. So I think what happens then as you are making your way through this is that, yeah, okay, you spot ahead of you that there's a couple of mountains of snow, but you spot in one of them there's a little bit of a shift of snow as something moves underneath, and you spot that there are these cold, icy blue eyes peering out at you from under the snow. And you have just enough time, like you have a couple of seconds. You recognize it as a Yeti, and they're likely about to ambush you, but you have an opportunity to spend a couple of seconds letting the others know so they're not surprised.
Okay. Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
Hi. I scream Yeti, and I go to draw my longbow.
I look at my microphone. Wait, what?
All
Well,
right.
yes, I do actually like those mugs.
The kind that likes to eat us.
Yeah. So
What have you done to those poor mugs?
so you are able to warn everybody. So here's a question. I'm putting you on a map, but the map is dark because it's dark. But you guys would have been, you know, you would have
Using
been
light
traveling,
spells and
right?
whatnot,
So,
Yeah.
so would everybody have had some light on them?
Yeah, Marcher's
Oh, yeah.
got his usual, quarterstaff sticking up out of his pack with the head
All right.
glowing.
Do you
I didn't.
guys? Well, here, let me make sure you've got your vision going here.
I'd ask Diggy to put light on my shield. So
Yeah. Shield light on me as well.
Okay.
But
Are you all able to see on this current map?
I'm
Oh, hang
still
on.
on
I need to put your yeah. There we go. You able to see now?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. I need to just save your tokens with this light on it already.
Whoops.
Okay. All right.
Which is our direction of travel here?
One with me in the front.
Dealer's choice.
Direction.
I mean, it doesn't like really matter. You guys can put your. I just dragged the tokens out. You can put. You can
No, yeah,
decide
that's
where
why I
you want
wanted
them
to
be.
put, because I figure
Yeah, so I would say you guys arrange yourself in whatever your sort of your marching order would have been.
Wait. The map. I guess.
okay.
Yes. What?
I don't have control of Lila.
Okay. What? Where are you guys? Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. You were on the wrong thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Ah.
I hadn't put Lila out there yet. So,
Okay.
all right. You guys can see where you are now.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Let me give you Lila. Doop. And and you won't have control of Lila.
Okay.
I will do that, but you
Okay.
tell me where you would want them.
He would be next to me.
Okay. All right. And so everyone roll initiative because these Yeti are ambushing you.
Dun-dun.
And I need Piccolo as well.
Yes. Okay. Let's see.
Piccolo
Alright.
can attack now. Yay.
Yes!
All right.
Piccolo
so,
has an attack.
do you guys see yourselves on the initiative tracker?
Nope.
No,
All right. Well,
Nope.
just see the, I guess what is a Yeti or something.
yeah. I don't know why it can't, because like everyone stays on it when I change pages, but you guys don't see it, so I don't like know what the purpose of that is, but it's fine because we're just doing this. So, got everybody, I think. So,
Okay.
so everyone, make sure you get your initiatives in there.
Yep. Eldon is going to be slow off the mark.
And let's see if we get
Should Lila go on my turn, or should she have her own?
her own turn.
Okay. $18. Okay.
All right.
Lila is 18. I
Okay.
don't have control.
Okay. So, Iggy, you are up. I think this one here, this lowermost one, is the only
Yeah.
one that got spotted. So I think Rowan would have pointed at that one and said, "Yeti ambushing," something like that.
Yeah. Eldritch Blast!
It's a Yeti! Eldritch Blast!
Yeah, you would know that it's probably not the only one, because if it was just one, it probably wouldn't attack a whole party.
Yeah. So 15 to hit?
A 15 does hit, yes.
Okay. Alright, for 8 damage, and command Piccolo on his turn to attack. Or at least to go forward, because I don't think he'll actually get there.
20,
Yeah.
Let's
They'll
see.
have their turn before then, so.
yeah. Well, it's
Yeah,
50,
no, actually, he could get there, so
yeah, 50,
he'll
50
attack.
feet. What's his speed?
Yeah. He has 60 feet flying
Oh,
speed.
okay, yeah. All right. So, Lila's turn. But I think
Lila's going to get in front of me and ready an attack if something comes close.
Okay. All right.
Just barely make them out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was kind of, you just. They
I
were
would-
rolling stealth, and so you only spotted one of them.
Nice. And I definitely wanted them to stay at that range because I don't want to be that close.
Yeah,
I'm not Luke Skywalker.
So
You want to get
yeah.
Wampa on?
So it is your turn, Rowan, and you can roll a survival check if you want to kind of like, what do you know about Yeti?
Sure. Let's see. Where did you go? Where did there we go. Okay. So let's see. Survival. Oh my gosh.
I mean, they're big monsters. I mean, that's,
Well, the one I can see, I'm going to shoot it twice.
yeah, Sounds good.
Maybe I'll roll better.
yeah. Well, it would be hard not to.
Yeah.
Not impossible. Don't get make trouble.
Oof.
Which he just did.
Well, yeah, the first one didn't go so well.
that
A 12
going?
a 12 hits. A 12 does hit.
Oh. Oof. Okay, so using sharpshooter won't be that bad if I can
Yeah.
roll anything other than ones.
Yeah. Well, is your arrow attack really just a +1?
With sharpshooter, yeah.
Oh, right, with
Sharpshooter imposes a -5.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It
Okay.
would be +0 if I
Right,
hadn't
right.
leveled up.
That's what threw me. Okay, so
5
Four-
points
5
because it's a
points.
+1. Yeah.
Okay,
And
it
Colossus
is
Slayer.
it is the second hit.
Yeah, but he hasn't been hurt.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
Hit by-
Iggy
hit by
hit
an
with
archer.
Eldritch Blast.
Oh yes, Eldritch Blast.
Is your Colossus Yeah, it applies for all attacks, right? It doesn't have to be
Nope,
melee
just
or
the
anything.
just the first time I hit it.
Okay.
Oh, each turn. It's
Right,
first time
right.
I hit it each turn.
Yeah. I was just trying to think like some of those attacks are like for like melee only or something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh. Are you
Yeah.
gonna move back?
If I move any further back, I can't see them.
Yeah.
But
Your arrow strikes true though, and it roars. Ah!
that's a Yeti. But I guess I will move back here. I'll move through you guys, and I'll move back here because they're not going to stay laying in the snow for us to hit them at free will for longer, I'm sure. And that'll be it.
All right. Well, it is their turn now. So let's see. The this one. Hang on. There's like they were actually okay. So this guy is running up, and he can just get to Ale on his first. Let's see. And Ale, I need you to make a Constitution saving throw as this thing's piercing cold eyes bore into you.
Okay. That's a 13.
That is just a success. So there is a moment there where you just feel like this thing is pouring cold into you through its eyes, and like to the point where it was just like you wouldn't be able to move, and but you're able to shake it off. But then it does attempt to strike you with its claws, and it gets a 24 and a 7.
The 24 will hit.
It's going to be 6 slashing damage and 1 cold damage. And,
Okay, so my resistance for cold.
yeah,
so
it round down, so it's nothing.
So it's just 6 slashing damage. Okay.
Yep. All right.
Alrighty.
And then the other one can only get up to to Lila, but it's gonna. It does that, but I think, yeah, and I think it's going to. It's going to do its stare against Lila as well. So Constitution.
Okay.
No, I take it back. It sends its chilling gaze at you, Marcher, because you're sort of standing where you're like controlling this.
Okay.
Like you're like attending to it.
16.
16 is a success, so you are able to shrug off the effect as well. But it does attack with its claws against Lila. It gets a 22 and an 18.
Both hit.
All right. So the first one is 7 slashing and 1 cold damage. Is
Okay.
Lila resistant to cold?
No.
Okay. All right, and then the second one is 9 slashing and 1 cold damage. So Lila takes a couple of hits there and doesn't appreciate it much, I would imagine.
No, she doesn't. But she does have a readied action.
The readied action was to attack if it came close?
That's right.
Okay, well, go for it, Lila.
And she's going to attack with her claws.
All right.
Oh, Lila.
Gets a 13.
13 hits.
Does 10 points of damage.
All right. Okay. And the other one comes up and is also attacking Lila, and Lila gets the chilling gaze this time. So
Okay.
Constitution saving throw.
20.
Okay, everyone's resisting that. Good for them. But 2 claw attacks. Crit!
Oh no!
And then a 24.
Oh no.
Okay,
Oh no!
so the crit first, 13 slashing and 8 cold.
Ooh.
Oh!
Yeah,
So 21.
right. And that's the
Ouch,
crit.
that really hurt.
Yeah. And then high damage on the next one too. So 7 slashing and 6 cold damage. So
Oh,
Lila
she
is
not.
very
She
hurt.
is not in good shape.
No, 7 hit points. But the Yeti seem to just be rushing in for their first available targets. But that is the end of their turn. Wilfred, it's up to you.
I think Wilfred's gonna go up and get attack the ones attacking attacking Lila,
Sure.
because
No, I'm on your side.
I know. Yeah. So Warhammer. 15
15 hits.
for 11 damage.
All right. That's a pretty big hit.
Again,
Get that
Ooh.
extra attack.
natural 19, which is a crit. A crit for a champion.
Oh, nice. There you go.
So that is 17.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that Yeti is extremely wounded now.
Get away from him.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else on your turn?
No.
All
That's
right.
it.
Okay, Piccolo.
All right, so let's see. This is the one that I attacked first, right? The one
No,
that was down in this corner?
That was this southmost one. Was the one you attacked.
Okay. Yes, because that would have been the one that I would have ordered Piccolo to attack, because that's the one that I saw.
Before. Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so Piccolo is going to go down there and use his sting attack.
Okay.
Okay, so let's see what this ends up being. Oh no, and it's a 5.
Okay, a 5 will miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not able to penetrate its thick, shaggy Yeti fur.
Yes.
All right. That's Piccolo. Marcher.
Archer is going to run down over here
Mhm.
to get a clear shot, and is going to cast freezing spears at 3rd level
Uh-huh.
at the one at the southernmost one there.
Okay. All 3 of them at that one.
Yep, and here's hoping it affects them. A 6, an 18, and another 6.
Wow, two of those were ones.
2 ones on
Yeah.
that.
Oh my gosh.
None of them hit.
So the 18 hits, but did we establish that this is cold damage?
It is, the freezing spears do cold damage.
So here's where we may need to look up the wording of your feat a little bit, because Yeti are not merely resistant to cold damage, but immune to it.
Yeah, the feat doesn't actually say anything about immune.
It just says,
It says-
ignore resistance.
Ignore resistance. Yep.
Yeah, so I think unfortunately you see the spear, so because you know that it resembles a spear, but it's really just like this hyper frozen cold wind and air. It's not really a physical spear, but you see it just sort of just dissipate against the Yeti fur, and it doesn't seem to even really react.
Ah! All right. Well, that's my turn. Actually, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast a True Strike to affect my next turn,
Okay,
using sorcerer points to quicken it.
sure. All right, Ale. You're muted.
Oh, I am. Sorry. Okay, first up, I will cast As a bonus action, I'll cast Hunter's Mark on the Yeti that is attacking me,
Okay.
and then I will strike at it with my sword. That's a 25.
That'll do it.
Okay, so that's 10 points of damage,
All right.
and I will attack it again. That's a 22.
Okay. Yeah.
That's 13 points of damage.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
That is my turn.
Great. Iggy, you are up again.
Okay, so
Lila is not going to survive another round of this.
yeah. Hold on. I want to see how far away am I. I'm only 20 feet away. Okay, so first things first. Ig is going to back up. One more square. And then he is going to they're going to cast Create Bonfire.
Okay.
When in doubt, burn them, right?
Yeah, because they saw what happened with the cold damage, like, oh, well, cold didn't work. I know Eldritch Fire worked. So
Sure.
let's try.
Which square?
I actually kind of want to get both of them, but I know that's not going to work.
Yeah,
so
you kind of have to. Well,
I'll pick the southern one.
yeah, you kind of have to pick a square for it to count for its full damage, right? Because if it was only
Right.
sort of like half into one of the square, it wouldn't do full damage.
Right.
But
So
there
I'm
you go.
gonna. So yeah, that square right there is fine.
Okay.
So create bonfire. They need to make a dexterity saving throw. Dex 14.
Okay. 15.
Ah,
Creature. All right. I wanted to see if it was half damage.
If it's a cantrip, no.
No. Okay.
But it remains there, so it means that they will have to move off of that spot or else risk taking more damage.
yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits of that spell for sure.
Yeah.
Is you can force someone to move.
Okay, yeah. And again, as a bonus action, I'm going to ask Piccolo to try and sting this one this
Okay.
time.
All right. Lila's turn.
I have two possible options, Christiana. It would make more sense, I think, for her to disengage and run.
I think that's
disengage
honestly.
and run away.
I think that's like at this point with that much damage, I think Lila would be inclined to do that almost no matter what she said.
Right.
So,
Lila's gonna
Yeah.
disengage and run probably in the direction of either behind me or in the direction of Iggy.
Mhm.
One of those two.
Yeah. Gigantic owlbear is hiding behind you.
We don't blame him a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, disengage means no opportunity attack, so he's fine.
Right.
All right, Rowan, that makes it your turn.
Okay, so as a bonus action, I'm going to cast my new spell, Magic Weapon, which makes my bow a +1 magical weapon, and I'm going to attack the one. Let's see. All the northernmost one and the southernmost one have both been hit, correct?
All three of them have.
Okay, sweet. Since only one of my friends is in immediate danger currently, then I'm going to attack the one fighting Ale.
All right.
Only one?
You forgot about
Sorry, I can't see you. I couldn't see you because the buttons that were active when I had my character highlighted. Sorry. So
Uh,
2 of my friends are in a meeting stage.
Yeah, Piccolo's
Allie
really
has
feeling the
taken-
love here, dude.
Yeah. But Allie has taken damage, but Piccolo's the squishiest. So
Although I feel like they would be going after the big edible targets, such as the owl bear.
yes.
So let's see here. Oh,
Oh dear Lord, eesh, a 6.
Relax.
let's try one more go.
No!
Oh no!
That sharpshooter's not doing you favors today.
I'm
No.
rolling the worst.
Yeah. Unfortunately, both of those arrows go wide because you're kind of calling your shot, right? Like you're trying to get him like right between the eyes or something like that, but he just like misses just barely, glances through their fur or ricochets off the horn.
Yeah, I'm gonna move back here with Iggy and be like, I'm not having a good day today.
You and me both.
Yeah. All right. So it is actually the Yeti's turn, but given that they have all 3 taken significant damage, and it's clear that you all are tougher than they expected, they are actually all going to disengage and run away. One of them in particular seems to yell out, and they all turn to disengage.
Tax of opportunity. We can feed it to the owl bear.
No, they disengage, so you can't do that.
yeah.
So here's the question, though. They seem determinedly fleeing, like, holy crap, these guys are actually dangerous. Let's leave them alone and wait for better prey. So are you going to pursue, or are you going to let them go?
How close are we to Lonelywood?
I mean, this
We
was
still have another day's travel.
right. Yeah, this is your first day's travel, and then you were going to camp in the woods. So this happened in the morning that day.
Okay, so they're not. It's not like if we leave them that they would be some sort of imminent peril to Lonelywood itself.
No, you're a ways
Okay.
away. You're like a full day's travel away for sure.
I mean, I say the way I'm rolling, let them ride. Let them
Yeah, I
ride.
think
Yeah.
we got lucky to. Wilfred would be like, we got lucky to see him in the first place.
If they were direct minions of the Frostmaiden, I would feel differently, but they're not. They're just hungry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
And, Marcher goes to tend to Lilla, who's probably the worst off of everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Lilla took a lot of damage.
Okay, so
Move us back to the map
let's-
because we're no longer in combat if you let them go.
Okay, so let me try to heal Lilla up. I will use both of my 2nd level slots for cure wounds on Lilla.
Do monsters have hit dice that can spend during short rests?
They do when they're NPC sidekicks.
Okay.
Okay, so Lilla gets 14 back from the spells I just used.
Okay.
I could use more. How much more is Lilla down?
That's 22 out of 59 that she's at right now. She's currently down 37.
Okay, so
but-
let's.
But if we take a rest, she does have a lot of hit dice that we can
Okay,
spend.
okay. Yeah.
So are you gonna take a short rest then?
Yes, I think we're going to take a short rest.
All right.
Yeah, Ale, you got hit yourself.
Yeah,
Those
I
guys-
was thinking of everybody else first. It's like heal everybody else first.
Okay, so 28 gets her pretty well off at that point. She'll have to spend all of her hit dice, but
All right. So, you guys all kind of take your short rest. The Lilith was kind of really sort of like shaking and looking not so good until the healing, and then after a rest for a little bit, she's kind of up again, sort of stomping around in a circle, just hooting like indignantly.
I'm gonna go into my pack and pull out some of those smoked sausages and give them to her.
Nice.
Lily snacks instead of Scooby snacks.
Yeah.
Toss them in the air so he catches them out of midair, licks her beak.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
because you are so very ferocious.
Say nice things to her. Feed her. Him, actually. Keep
Him, her.
Yeah.
I know Lilith sounds female, but yeah.
Yes. Well, that was on purpose. Yes. Feed him.
We'll
Tell him it's
get-
going to be okay.
We'll get them next time.
We'll get them next time.
So
Next time.
yeah, so you guys all, you finish your short rest and get back on the road.
I think that's the plan.
Right. So I think towards the end of your travel day, you make your way into the woods of the Lonely Wood, and so there are a lot of tall trees, mostly pine, evergreens, but a lot of them are pretty sturdy, and you know that actually a lot of the lumber for all of Ten Towns comes from the Lonely Wood. So there's a lot of hunters and trappers and loggers that kind of make their living from this forest. But you are at the end of it that is less trafficked because it's further away from everything else. But you go ahead and you getting ready to make camp there in the outskirts of the Lonely Wood.
Under the boughs.
Yeah. Are you going to do any like looking around or scouting for the moose while you're there that evening, or?
I would.
Yeah, I think we've got time to at least check the area for tracks and things like that.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if I could, while we're doing that, if I don't find tracks for this moose, finding some fresh food for Lila.
Okay. Well, so here's the question. Because you traveled for 8 hours, the way the mechanic works for searching for the tracks or for like, foraging, if you would need to spend an hour. So anyone who spends an hour doing another bit of activity here will make a check for it.
Yeah, you'll basically be doing a force march, right?
Yeah.
You have to make a Constitution save to avoid some exhaustion,
Mhm.
but it's also a level of exhaustion that would come back overnight. So
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'll take that. It's fine.
Okay. So Rowan, are you foraging or are you looking for the trail? Because I don't think they're the same thing.
Okay. I'll do the trail.
Okay. Go ahead and make a survival check. Yeah. Unfortunately, you.
Another natural one, listeners.
You find tracks that you're saying like, what kinds of tracks are these? I'm not used to seeing these in the Lonely Woods, and you're kind of following them for a while until you catch up with Lila, who had been romping around, and you're like, oh.
Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately, yeah, no luck for you this time. Is anyone else doing some looking?
I mean, do we have to be proficient or anything?
Well, I mean, no, not for this. I think, being proficient obviously gives you better odds, but people can just look for tracks, right?
I'll go ahead. And I got a 9.
Okay. Yeah. No such luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
So
this a
anyone,
survival check?
yeah. So anyone who's
Okay,
spending an hour
I'll give
doing
it a shot.
this will also make the Constitution saving throw for the exhaustion.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got plus. Yeah, I'll give it a shot. What the heck? 24.
Okay. Oh, there you
Nice.
go. You have found a set of tracks that look like they could be moose tracks.
I'm going to bring this to the attention of a matter expert. That would be the ranger.
Okay.
Uh,
Are you guys going to follow those tracks right now?
I think we can wait till morning.
Yeah. Knowing
Yeah.
our luck, he'll show up in the middle of camp.
or I'll lose the trail at
Well,
this
right. Like, there's no guarantee that you'll be able to find the tracks again in the morning. But
Right.
Well, it's good to know that it's not terribly far away. We have
you
that.
don't
We
know
have a
that those
lead.
are the tracks, though. The problem is there's
Yes.
one particular moose that you believe is causing trouble. There are other moose.
Right, but if we find another moose and kill it, then we've got meat for
Yeah.
Me for all of us, especially Lola.
All right. So I don't care that much about the Constitution check in this particular case because you're about to just take a long rest. So,
Right.
so I would say though that as you guys are getting sort of situated in your camp, you're kind of just. I would imagine, like, how are you feeling about the slight change in sort of scenery, just being surrounded by trees here instead of just the wide open, snowy wasteland?
I think Wilfred is a lot more comforted by it because trees, they might be different trees than he's used to, but they're trees. Trees are good.
I'm very not super at ease, as in like lollygagging about, but I'm almost home.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Marcher, on the other hand, is feels a bit constrained. He's used to wide open mountains and this is kind of an alien terrain for him.
Yeah, yeah. Ale is from plains and mountains far to the east, so forests are not something he spent a lot of time except in traveling. So yeah, this is so. I mean, he liked the wide open ice because yeah, it's cold, but it's nice and wide open. This feels a little constricted.
Yeah, and I think Ig is happy that there are hiding places, but on the other hand, there are hiding places, and who knows what's out there.
Yeah.
So they're kind of jittery right now. I think they'll actually volunteer to take first watch just because of that.
Okay.
Just to get it over with.
Yeah, to get it over with, and so that they can, kind of make sure that there isn't anything kind of watching from the trees.
Okay.
And for the camp, of course, Wilfred, like I would say you do every time, it's doing the alarm spell around it.
Okay.
'Cause security.
Sure.
Security is good.
Gosh, I have to look that up for a second. Pay no attention to the fact that the DM needs to look up how that spell works.
I'm sure it'll never come up that we'll have a camp attacked ever.
Let's see.
Danger on the danger on the road is exactly why Wilfred chose it.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I'm okay. Is anyone else on First Watch or just Iggy?
There are 5 of us, so one of the watches is one person. The other watches
Yeah,
should be 2.
The last
people.
watch has usually been Marcher and Lila.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's a 6.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So
Yes, I can. I usually take first watch, so I'd be up.
Okay. All right. So Iggy and Rowan are on watch, and I think how about have you both make a perception check?
There we go. Now we're cooking with gas.
much better.
That would be a.
Ig only got a 12.
Let's see. Did I roll the right die? Yeah. So it would be a 19. My D4 rolled a 1, but not my D20.
Well, so I think then that you're glancing around, just watching for any sign of whatever. I think it's kind of would you guys have any lights on here, like in the middle of the dark woods? Because it would be very hard to see much otherwise.
I
But
would have I'd have my hooded lantern setting.
okay, yeah, all right. So I think you're peering around with the hooded lantern. Iggy has dark vision,
Mm-hmm.
but you're peering around with the hooded lantern, and I think you pass it over a couple of different areas, and then you pass it one direction, and like there's some sort of a little flicker that inspires you to kind of bring the lantern back over in that direction to where you see a tiny little figure recognizable from your past experiences as
Oh
a
no.
chewinga. And the
Oh.
chewinga is marching towards your camp in a very sort of like pomp and circumstance formal mode and holding above its head what looks like a bright red fresh strawberry.
Oh.
Oh wow.
And it is carrying it forward like it is a position of great honor to be bearing this strawberry towards the party. And uh, as it crosses the warded threshold,
Oh
Wilfred, you hear a little ping that probably wakes
Well,
you up.
it would be set to audible, so
Yeah.
everybody
Okay. So
can hear
everyone
it.
would hear a little ping, and as soon as that happens, the chewinga just vanishes, but the strawberry just drops into the snow.
What was that? What?
no.
One of your friends tried to visit and bring you a present.
Yeah. I
What? What? Wait, what?
I go and pick up the strawberry.
Yep. It's a strawberry.
Yeah, looks like one of your buddies found you some fresh strawberries. Though, where?
Yeah, where'd they find a strawberry
Yeah,
in
I
this
mean,
place?
the thing is too, like the strawberry, because it's so cold out, is starting to get some ice crystals around it, but it was not frozen before.
Yeah.
So
I have questions.
I have a lot of questions.
Actually, with their thing with weather and temperature and everything, it makes a little bit of sense because
it wasn't that warm.
well, no, like they have they're kind of bound to the weather and temperature, and makes sense that they could locally change it. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they basically warmed the area so strawberry could grow.
Yeah.
I didn't realize your connection with them was still that strong that they would bring a strawberry to you.
I had no
That's
idea
amazing, man.
It really is. Do I
Yeah.
see little chewinga tracks?
Hang on, sorry, I've just a technical glitch here. I've got one of these.
Looks like it's above Rowan's name, really small.
What? Oh, okay, yeah. Thanks. I was trying to find out where it had gone, and I had just actually accidentally made it very small.
That's okay.
What
I
would it
like
be?
being really small. It happens so rarely.
All right,
What?
so
What would we call them?
I'm sorry.
Mini-
You're looking
mini
around for
villas?
chewinga tracks. I mean, you see some chewinga tracks right up to where it disappeared.
Hmm. If I didn't need rest, I would be very interested in seeing where this little fella came from, because this fresh strawberry looks delightful.
Yeah.
Best eat it before it freezes,
I
Wilfred.
was just gonna say it's freezing as we speak.
Yeah.
Eat the strawberry, Wilfred.
It's
It's meant for
Well,
you.
taken,
Yeah.
cut into pieces.
I mean,
like-
everyone.
Does anybody not want a piece?
No, thank you.
So
I,
4? Okay.
I go enjoy.
I've been poisoned once this trip already. Might as well.
So
Rowan,
three.
Ali,
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't
Oh.
had a fresh strawberry.
I I mean, it's sweet and delicious. It's like perfect.
When we have some downtime, we need to go and find your Chewinga friends because they seem to have an inside track on something delightful.
Yeah. Okay.
So, nothing else seems to be happening. So, you're all can resume your
Our
watch
watch schedule.
and bed and so on, and yeah. So, good to go. Yeah, everything else for the duration of your long rest goes as expected. Nothing else disturbs you. Um, I will now, because it is the next day, I will once again advance our little calendar.
Did you advance it for the rest we got
Yes, I did that.
previously?
Yes, I did that before we started.
Okay.
And
So
Lilith gets all her hit points back.
I get my
Okay.
spells back.
okay, and so it is now the 12th of Marpanoth. It is 13 days past full, which means you have 2 days until new moon.
Ooh.
Getting dark.
Yes.
Let's
Not to mention that new moon is also when the sacrifices to the Frostmaiden are made in 10 towns.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, let's
This is
Now,
like.
But now
apogee of
Lonelywood
our
is
power.
not Lonelywood is not one of those towns, correct?
I mean, they do it, but theirs is food.
Okay.
Yeah, so honestly, from the perspective of people coming into town from outside of town, it's probably the least concerning one.
Yes. Though buying food might be an issue, but
If they're preparing for sacrifice. True.
Yeah. So that is your day and night for that. But you would in this next day of travel be able to reach Lonelywood, but you do have some travel
we have
time
the
ahead
tracks
of
I
you.
found.
Yeah.
Oh well, okay. You're doing that first then.
well,
Yeah.
here's
All
the
right,
question: if we spend too much time out here, uh, we are running out of food for Lila. So if we are out here, we need to find something for her to eat, for him to eat. Um, while we're doing this, we have another day. It's enough to get us to Lila.
So I mean, you guys tell me. I kind of assumed
Yeah, we're kind of.
you were going to
we'll be-
Lonelywood first, but up to you.
Do you think we can find? I mean, if we can find something to kill and eat, then it's not a problem.
I think we could spare a little time to see if we find the white moose before we head in. And even if we don't, these tracks could lead us to other moose, which would be
Right.
food for them.
All right, so let's follow the tracks then.
Okay. Well, what I would say is that you can make you have to make another survival check to find the tracks again, but you can make the first one here with advantage because you're looking for the tracks you found last night. There you go.
That's
Yay!
and let's see one
See what a good night's sleep can do.
Yeah.
more.
All right. So with a natural 20,
So natural 20 plus 8.
Yeah.
So 20.
so you find some tracks that are definitely moose tracks. But let's see. You guys can now attempt to follow those tracks. But first, someone roll a d6. Well, I guess you roll it because you're the one found the tracks.
5.
All right. So, and you, after tracking those tracks for 3 hours, you find an ordinary moose.
I'm gonna shoot that moose.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't actually. Well, actually, hang on. I do have a stat block that it's technically not a moose stat block, but it says to use this one. But it's I mean it's got 19 hit points. If you guys want to run that as a combat encounter, you can, but I don't think it's
No, I
necessary.
think-
Yeah,
we
I
should
think
take it down.
I think if we all let loose with our cantrips and arrows and things, we'll probably take it down.
Yeah, I think you're fine. So you can certainly, you can certainly take down that moose and start to like butcher it and prepare the meat and so on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Or for that matter, just point
do we
at
need
it
to?
and
Can we just give
say,
it to
Lila,
Lilith?
have at it. Bon
Yeah.
appetit.
Yeah.
Can we, like take the hide off before Lola rips into it?
I mean, up to you guys.
Yeah, I'll take the amp. Is it a bull moose? Does it have horns?
Antlers.
Yes.
I want to take those horns.
All right.
Antlers.
Antlers. All right.
Horns are permanent. Antlers grow back.
So, you now have moose antlers in your bag or something.
And a well-fed owlbear.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we just had a 1,200-pound breakfast.
So I think
And,
if you wanted to skin the moose and have a moose hide, you maybe try a survival roll to see how
Yes.
well you do.
And I will assist. So
Yeah. Let's see. Or who's rolling?
Ooh. I don't know.
I can
I
I can
thought.
skin it for you. I can
I
skin it
mean,
for you.
Wilfred was the one who suggested it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I'll roll with it. I'll roll. Okay. With assistance for advantage.
So we just had the
13.
13. So I think with the 13, you're it's fine. Like you would
Yeah.
probably have some of like the professional fur trappers laugh at you behind your back in town, but they would still buy it.
Hey, gold is gold.
Yeah. So we had just in the chat just now, the Loophole King just bought a gift subscription for the channel in
Yay!
some emotes and stuff. So thank you.
thank you so much.
You guys have just spent 4 hours of your day so far finding an ordinary moose. You can keep looking for more tracks, but or whatever you guys want to do.
I think we should move on for at least a ways, and then look in a new place.
All right. So
'Cause we've trumped around this part of the forest for quite a bit.
sure.
Yeah.
So
Is Lilith hanging onto like one of the leg bones so that she can, or they can chew
on
it at their convenience?
yeah, I think
Well, we're
they've
being
got
boring.
one of these really long femurs just in their beak, and then they're just carrying it around like a dog with a stick.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also we have kept some of the meat to use for our own rations as well. So
All right.
yeah, can we have like replenished some of my stored meat for Lilith from this? Maybe have another day's worth of,
I was going to kind of assume that like one moose as being what like what Lila just goes after
Okay.
it would be like
Okay.
the day's
All right.
food.
All right, that's fine. That's fine. Then I just won't mark.
Well,
off
so the I think the way I'll spin that is that theoretically there might have been more, but what was happening as soon as it was down, there was a real sense that it was going to be a thing to not have Lila just go for it. And the problem is once she's finished with it, there's not a lot left that you want to
Okay.
use.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. No, that's fair. That's
But
fair.
so you feel like maybe if you work on it with her, you could get her to wait and have it be a little more efficient.
Okay. All right.
All
So,
right.
next moose.
Sure. So now we can let's do another survival check from someone. But if you guys are mostly staying together rather than splitting up, let's have one
Yeah.
person make it with advantage.
Yeah. Jason, that's you.
Yeah.
There
Oh, there you go.
Okay. You definitely
20,
find
not
another
just
set
20.
of moose prints, and so roll a 1d6.
3.
3. So, after another hour, you find another regular moose.
No.
So we got some food.
Do you take this one down too?
Oh yeah.
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 All right. So, yeah.
Even
So
if even if it's a female moose, it's still a nearly 1,000-pound
Yeah.
creature that's edible.
well, right. Yeah. So I would say you guys, if you probably take some time if you're actually trying to like, butcher it and get the meat,
Yeah, I think this
preservable
one we're
way
gonna
and
go.
everything.
Yeah.
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 All
And
right.
we'll give Lila the internal organs, which wouldn't keep as well and
Sure.
would be actually more nutritious for him, and he may be a little slow from overeating though.
Actually, I think this would be an example of a time when you would train,
Yeah.
time of, you know,
Hold off, let us butcher it and
Yeah.
etc. before
Right.
and then it gets the choice bits when it behaves.
yeah,
That big liver's all yours.
Yep.
Yeah. Liver, heart, brain.
So I think
Moose brain.
yeah. So I think as you're kind of fussing with this, all the butchering and everything, you hear like a snap of a branch from some direction, and you look in that direction, and you see a brown bear heading your way and starting to make a little bit of sort of the. In a minute, I'm going to be really mad if you guys haven't run away, sort of growls. You know what I mean? Like, not the roars yet, but sort of the, I'm heading your way, and I'm letting you know that there's going to be trouble in a minute. When I get over there, that sort of warning growl. But as soon as it's getting a little closer, I think Lila kind of comes back around from another tree and just goes, and the bear just turns and after a few steps starts to run.
Geez, quite sorry, sir.
Yeah.
Ask if you needed some more meat.
Yeah, I didn't realize that these were your. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you know what? It's fine. Just like I was, it's good. We're good. Have a good one. Yeah. Good luck.
Hair is strongly flavored, but it's good. I've
Yeah.
had it in Finland.
So you could go after the bear too if you wanted.
No, I think
I think the
we've
moose
had
is a-
some
yeah.
very successful hunting today. I think we should make a few hours progress and perhaps make camp a little further south.
So you've spent 6 hours mucking about in the woods, so you can do 2 hours of travel if you want.
Yep, that's
Yeah.
what I think we should do. Because if we do find some tracks, it won't be have enough time to track them down. So.
Yeah. Okay. So I think, yeah. So, all right. That would be. All right. Yeah. So you make your way through another couple of hours in the woods there, and you don't really encounter anything else of note. Are you setting up camp there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's set camp here.
All right.
and did we get hide and everything from the second moose?
Sure. I mean, I'm not like, yeah. If you guys want, I just realized I've got the wrong D&D Beyond campaign on the overlay. Let me fix that. All right. Okay, so you guys are setting up for camp. You're apparently you decided to camp on like the Brown Bear Highway because you rolled like 2 more random encounters of that. But then I think at one point, who has the middle shift that night?
That'd probably be Wilfred and me.
Okay. I think at one point everything's very still, and you're being very quiet, just kind of looking out. And I think at some point you spot an Arctic fox patiently stalking a snowshoe hare.
Aw.
Do you just kind of let
Yeah,
nature play out as it will?
let it do its thing.
Okay.
Foxes are cool.
All right. Well, the Arctic fox appears to uh, catch the Arctic hare, the snowshoe hare, by surprise, and after a short pursuit, does manage to take it down and is carrying it off back to its lair somewhere in the woods. Lots of nature-related random encounters uh, here in the woods. Partly because this is also once again a 10 towns quest area.
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
little bit like World of Warcraft when you're at a much higher level, but then you kind of go back down to one of the starter zones and everything's like level 1. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it is you get another long rest. I will once again uh, tear off another page on the calendar.
I, do we want to skip Angajuk's Bell and Dark Duchess, the pirate ship, the frozen pirate ship, uh, and instead make our way out east for that cave and my people's towns? The reason I ask is because the bell doesn't seem like the kind of thing that is, I mean, it's interesting and maybe we should visit it, but do we want to? Some of the other things seem like they're a little more pressing. Uh,
I think skipping the bell might be a good idea because if
but
there's
but if we decide we need to come back, it'll be all the way across the Dale again. So and we're already in a fairly close proximity. So at the same
Well,
time, I'm thinking that maybe we should visit just to see what it's about, and then make a judgment when we get there. Because all we've heard is stories.
Yes,
yeah.
and finding the frozen pirate ship wouldn't be too long of a journey, given they're on it's
Yes.
right near them.
So what I'm thinking we should do is head down to Lonelywood, see if we pick up the tracks. If not, we're gonna need to come back this way anyways. We can have another go at it, and then head the under the spell. But we're gonna need a lot of food for Lilla if we're gonna be trekking that far over land.
Anywhere
And
we're gonna need a lot of food for Lola. But
so
point taken.
yeah, and I mean,
Also,
there's the question of at what point is it worthwhile to keep him, um, with the amount of food he eats. It slows us down a great deal to be hunting along the way.
I mean, true, but
I mean,
there are benefits, and
yeah.
let's be fair. Um, I don't think Lila would complain about eating Durgar.
You are probably true because if we had not made friends, she probably would have tried to eat us. Yeah. So okay. So if we are agreed that we should keep him, then I think we should go to Lonelywood, stock up on food for him, and then from there, I think we still should head to Angajup's Bell. Just because we're in the area, we're probably the closest we'll be in the near future.
If we don't go to the bell now, we won't go there for a long time.
And
Yes.
I mean,
So
if we feel like it, wanting to make that big of a trek across open land, we also heard about um, the stuff going down at Karakaluk, but we'd have to trek for probably
I think
good
before
week
we go
for
to Karkalok, we would want to stop off somewhere and restock our supplies. But
I'm just thinking that
This is where you start.
that isn't.
The dog sled starts coming in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that that's an awful long way out of our way where everything else seems to be in the mountains. The
Well,
Dark Duchess, where the shaman showed us, or the bear walker showed us, the Dark Duchess was. It's not close to anything in 10 towns. Where
well,
Angerjuke's Bell is, it's not close to anything in 10 towns. So we would really only be going there when we need
right.
to know. And given
Okay.
the fact that it's going to be, what, a 4-day journey? Maybe 5? There and
Yes.
back?
Yeah,
So
it's
2 weeks
quite
round
yeah.
trip.
Yeah, so that's why I'm wondering whether we want to skip it. I don't think we want to skip Karkalok at all.
No.
We definitely want to go there, but
But
again,
that's to the south.
yes. So how about this? Once let's resupply at Lonelywood. We're going to need to buy a lot of food. We're going to need to buy a lot of food. Even if all we do is go to Angajuk's Bell, it's going to be a lot.
Now, one thing that Rowan can definitely tell you is that even out on the tundra, there is game to be found. You would have to take some extra time to actually hunt for it, because but that like you there's like reindeer and stuff like that that are out there.
Yeah. So we could take a slower pace, hunt as we go, and extend our food. Um, and I mean, none of this stuff is going away anytime soon, right? And so, um, I, personally, I think our plan should be head to Lonelywood, stock up, walk and hunt our way to Angajuk Spell, see what's there, use it if it seems like something to do, maybe not. Just, find out what the stories are about. And that frozen pirate ship, it's a pirate ship. We do need funds, so might be something valuable there.
And if it's a functioning pirate ship, that's a mode of transportation.
Except for the fact that there's no waterway connecting the Sea of Moving Ice to
Anywhere else.
anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
yeah, but I mean, if
get
we
it,
would still
get,
be able
get
to
it up
say we
onto
have
the
a
snow
pirate,
and push. That's about it.
we would still be able to say we have a pirate ship.
Yeah, this isn't going to be like where
Yeah,
we can raise the sails and sail the ship over the snow.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Large
though?
skis?
Yeah.
No,
but
maybe
but
not.
I think we should go, if we are going to go there at all. We should go there next, and I think we should go there.
Given that it's tied to the Frostmaiden, Aule's opinion is well known. Of course, we should go. But if I will go with with what the majority says.
Well, if we do go to Anjou, to the Bell and the Duchess, I on the way back south, I would like to stop by Bremen. There's
Oh,
a
yes, that would be the
That's the yeah. That,
yeah, there's that mon- lake monster thing. I'd like to check out if I could.
Yes, absolutely. And then from there, perhaps Karkalok.
Okay.
and then sweep around the mountains,
Right.
avoiding the Durgar
Sunblight.
giant fortress for the meantime because we are not ready. Sunblight, thank you.
Yes.
Maybe
The
by the time
Cackling
you do all
Chasm,
of
the
that, you'll be
Berserkers.
ready.
Maybe we will see.
We'll see.
Probably not. Okay. Well, it seems I'm overruled.
All right.
Hey,
So-
well, that's what we'll do then.
So let's head to Lonelywood, but not, but check for tracks along the way in case we come across that white moose.
So I think Iggy, there is a little voice in your head that just says, "They don't care about what you care about. They're interested in their own business. while the enemy is proliferating every second that we delay.
Yeah.
It's not ordering you to do anything right now. It's just kind of saying, I don't know, these guys, I don't know if they're got their heads on straight.
Yeah. But it's definitely safer in numbers. So.
Yeah,
no.
I definitely think, yeah, I think you get a sword equivalent of, all right.
Hey, they've helped me get stronger so far. We'll see.
All right, so are you heading directly for Lonelywood now, or are you still searching in the forest on the way?
Well, I think we might take we might take an hour here and there to look.
Yeah, so it would be 5 hours to go straight to Lonelywood.
So maybe
yeah,
one chance, at
Yeah,
searching.
so we'll take a look around
Okay,
once during the day, perhaps during the brightest part of the day.
sure. Go
to
ahead
look for
and
traps.
make another survival check with advantage.
Jason.
Ranger to the rescue. One hopes anyway.
All right, yeah, you definitely find another. You find more moose tracks, and then after you eat the ice cream, you find a trail.
That really is good ice cream.
One more d6.
Come on, big bucks.
All
Good.
right,
Good.
and let's see, where's my? And then after 1 hour, you find another regular moose.
Well, we've got to feed Lila again.
Yep. That's hey. Every time we take one of these things down, we save ourselves.
Yeah,
9 gold
I
pieces.
think you, Marcher, get the impression that Lila thinks this seems like a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
Run through a woods, eat moose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
got all of these people with all these, creatures with, sharp metal bits to chase away the other ones that attacked.
Yep. Don't have to fight over the carcass with a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Don't actually have to do his own hunting.
Yep.
Since
Yeah.
Lila eats 900 pounds of food a day, and we've killed 3 moose, which are generally around 1,000 to 1,200 pounds, that's 4 days worth of food.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Well, actually, we figured out that one day of food is 36 pounds of prepared food.
Yeah.
Only
But
so-
bear
Not
in mind,
counting
like
bones and all the other stuff.
when you say a moose has 1,200 pounds or
Yeah.
whatever, it's like not all of that is edible meat.
Edible.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bone and there's a
Lot of
lot of hide and stuff like that. So,
But
So on this-
it's a fair amount.
but yeah,
It's Lila okay with waiting for us to do
Well,
stuff.
let's try that. Do you want to try to have Lila be patient this time, Marcher?
yes, I would like to see if I can get Lila to be patient.
How about an animal handling roll?
Okay. 21.
I think there is a hoot of confusion, like, I'm not so sure about this, but she does as asked.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she still gets the tasty bits.
Still gets
Yeah,
the tasty.
there's still a lot of hard staring and licking the beak.
and then just a big old pile of gizzards and kidneys and liver and heart and all that kind of stuff.
All is forgiven. All right, so I think though that having gone through this a couple of times now, you're maybe starting to appreciate a little more that part of the rumor that you had heard was hunters. They've sent out hunters who have been unable to find it.
Right. Okay. Well, then we'll head to Lonelywood and see if they have more information there.
Yeah, we could ask my mom to see if she heard any rumors about how or the circumstances around how people have seen this white moose.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, don't tell my mom about how I've missed some of my shots in battle. Like,
We can tell her.
It
We
happens to
can tell her
everyone.
about the assassins that tried to kill you and all of that. But
oh,
just that, that you sometimes miss. That's a problem.
I'll tell her about the assassin.
Okay.
But
All right.
listen, guys. My mom was a pretty good adventurer.
What did she do?
She did a lot.
I mean, like, I, you know,
She taught me all I know, and
or
they and within the last few days, I've not been living up to that. A lot of wide shots there against those Yetis.
I mean, you miscalculated. That happens to everyone.
True, very true. And also, can we just not tell her I almost died to the assassins? Like they attacked, sure, but they hurt.
Well, really, Alec was the one who got hurt the most by the assassins, wasn't he?
I was the one who was dying. Yes.
Yeah, Ally
Yeah.
almost died. I almost got one shot. The poison. Oh, that's a and I can ask my mom about that poison too.
Yeah.
I still have 2 vials of that.
Yeah. All right. So, as you are making your way in the world today, you managed to get to Lonelywood at pretty much, like towards the end of your adventuring day. You feel like you could go another hour if you needed to, but you're arriving at Lonelywood. So let's go over to the Lonelywood map. I'm just gonna go ahead and uncover like everything because Rowan knows the place well. Here.
The lucky liar.
Nice.
Is there gambling in this establishment?
Are you shocked? Shocked?
I am shocked. Where are my winnings?
So, what you know about Lonelywood, Rowan, is that generally speaking, especially by 10 Town standards, it's a pretty friendly place, but it's understood and expected. Don't ask too many questions. People come to Lonelywood because they don't want people to ask them questions.
Aha, one of those places.
It's not that they're unwilling to talk about all sorts of things, but questions along the lines of, so, where did you live before this? What did you used to do before you became a logger? What's your real name? Those questions are not welcome.
Yes.
Yeah, questions like so how was the logging today? Or
Those sorts of questions, fine. But yeah, I think you would say like it's really just sort of like I would imagine it. Well, here's a question, Rowan. I don't think we really established this in your backstory. Like, how much of your life was spent here? Like how old were you when you came here?
I would say probably, maybe let's say to maybe 8 or 10, just because my mother didn't find me. She didn't think it was that big of a deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when I was, the 37th in line, and then once the other 30, odd people started dropping dead.
Yeah. It's kind of like, we're 37, like, who cares, right? But then you start hearing, like, oh, gosh, number 39 was killed, and number 20 disappeared, and number 28 is gone, and wait, what's happening?
So, yeah, and so then it was like, well, I think it's time for a change of scenery, kid.
Yeah. So, what you know, though, is that there used to be an inn called the Ramshackle, but it's been closed ever since the proprietor hung himself 2 years ago. There is some thought that maybe he didn't do it himself and that it was actually former business partners that decided that he should hang himself. But
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless, the inn has been closed and is not operational currently. But, um, and you know that your mom's house is probably not optimal for 5 grown people and an owlbear to stay there. But you know that the town speaker has a heated attic where, as long as you don't make yourself a nuisance to her, she generally will let people stay there. And it's basically a big empty attic, but it's
Well,
heated from the the fireplace in the building, so it's nice and warm.
I think that Marcher, at least, is not going to be trying to impose an owlbear on villagers, so they're going to find
Mm-hmm.
someplace nearby, but not in town, to bed down when that
Mm-hmm.
becomes
Oh,
necessary.
my
Uh,
my mother's home isn't too far from the woods, seeing as we she does a lot of hunting and trapping and herb gathering, so
Mm-hmm.
we could definitely probably stash Lila outside in the
Mm-hmm.
trees.
her backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Put a little stake in the ground, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you also know that the Happy Scrimshander is a shop that sells basic basic gear, but also a lot of scrimshaw supplies. Inks and needles and bone carving tools.
Mhm.
Um, and I think this is something that you've always kind of suspected, Rowan, but you don't know for sure. Is that the proprietress of the Happy Scrimshander is like a pleasantly plump little old lady named Iriski or Iriskree. But the thing that you've always kind of wondered is that she has a tendency to, like, when just a kid is looking, she does really fabulous knife tricks that she then pretends nothing happened when the adult turns back. Like, she's impressing the kid by, like, balancing a dagger on the tip of her finger and then flipping it up and catching it on another finger and that sort of thing.
That's awesome.
Retired
But
assassin or
she's like,
something.
like, haha, sort of thing. So yeah, you've always suspected she's maybe tougher than she would admit, but it's also, again, it's not the sort of thing you ask about because she will stop smiling.
And you don't want her to stop smiling.
Yeah.
Guys, a rule of thumb here: don't ask a lot of personal questions. This town was formed by folks who let well enough alone. As long as you helped the whole, they didn't ask too many questions. And I'm pretty sure a lot of folks here have scrupulous pasts, and some have just past they want to forget. Or, in my case, hope my past forgot me. So, Wilfred, don't ask too many questions.
Okay.
So are you heading straight for your mom's house, or are you stopping off anywhere else first?
Does anyone need anything?
Well, we have some move sites we'd like to sell, and they are kind of heavy.
Yeah, so let's head over to
And
we'll head over to the Scrimshander first.
Okay. So you head there, and you open, and there's a lovely little, like, sort of clinky door chime that goes when you open the door. You look up and you realize it's actually little bits of bone that have been, like, carved hollow, so they'll make little plink 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 sounds.
Aw.
But yeah, so it's one of those things, like, the sound is really nice, but you look up and it's like, oh, that's bones.
oh,
I
I don't
mean-
know, bones. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
it's like everybody's got bones.
Sure.
They're not that weird.
Yeah.
I mean, like if they look like they're, then
Now, if
yeah.
they're human bones, that's another
So
thing.
is
entirely.
someone staying outside with Lilla, or?
I am staying outside with Lila.
All right. So I think as you're bringing Lilla through the town, you're not getting a lot of people making a fuss, But what you're getting is a lot of people who are all bundled up and huddled over, and you can't really see their face, who just make sure that they're walking along the other side of the street.
Aw.
Well, considering that nobody's using the docks at
Mhm.
this point, right? It's
Yeah. Let me
except
double
for
check because not all of the lakes are completely frozen. Yeah, Lonelywood is actually on an unfrozen part of the lake.
oh, okay.
Oh, there's
So-
actual
this
yeah.
is so there are people actually sailing out.
Yeah.
So I will try to stay like at a section of the beach between the piers so that we're not really inconveniencing too many people,
Okay.
and you know, just paying attention to Lilith so that he doesn't get too wound up by all this activity and strange smells and all that kind of stuff.
All right. So I think as you those of you who go inside enter the shop, you see Iris Gree look up and just say, "Well, if it isn't Rowan Gregor, I haven't seen you in a dog's age."
Yeah, I've been a little busy. Been running around helping some friends,
Aw,
trying to stay out of trouble.
doing good, I hope. Are you successfully staying out of trouble?
For the most part.
Straight face.
No.
Oh, he broke it.
Well,
But that's what we're here for.
We've made
you
a
know
name
I
for
would have
our-
been disappointed anyway.
We've made a name for ourselves. We
That's
do
wonderful.
have some things that we're trying to sell. We did some hunting on the way in.
Oh, well. What do you have on offer here? And, you pull out the hides, I assume.
Yeah.
And she says, "Well, all right, these look fine."
I lean over. I didn't skip this.
Oh, sell out Wilfred.
I admit I'm not skilled with that. So I
Well,
did my
practice takes perfect.
best.
You have to get a lot of blood on your hands before you really know what you're doing with a knife.
Oh, okay. And go back to looking at stuff on myself.
Ms. Irish, have you heard anything about the White Moose?
Oh,
Um,
yes. What a strange bit of business that is.
Do you know how they've come across seeing it?
Well, it's been attacking loggers.
Oh.
Yes, we've had several. I don't think anyone's been killed yet, but several people have been injured as it is chasing them away and disrupting their operations. But every time they send a hunting party after it, they come back empty-handed.
Are the attacks random, or does it do it generally at a certain time?
Well, I mean,
Place.
it seems to have an uncanny ability to find where the logging is happening.
Uh-huh.
We should go. We'll have to go talk to the head logger. Mom hasn't tried to go out after it, has she?
Well, I mean, she does travel in the woods. I don't know that she has sought it specifically, although it does sound like something she would do.
Yeah, so I was hoping to get here sooner, but we've run across a few roadblocks.
Well,
Adventures.
Opportunities.
the world is full of such things.
Has anyone in the town reported things going missing?
Like thefts?
Yes, we've had several encounters in a multitude of towns where items had gone missing, and whenever we searched out and looked into those things, Duragar was on the other side of it.
Duragar. Ah. Well, I can't say we've had anything like that going around here, at least not that I've noticed.
That's good, at least.
You know, Duragar are the most tenacious little fellows. They're quite canny, very clever.
Yeah, especially when they're invisible. They get stabby.
Scrappy. Stabby too, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. I knew a Durga who, well, never mind, he's dead now.
But I'm sure you wouldn't have had anything to do with that, Miss Irish.
Do
'Cause
with
you're a
what?
sweet lady.
What would I have to do with? I just run a scrimshaw shop.
No, thank you for the information. Once we finish up here, I'm gonna have to head home because if Mom finds me here without coming home first, I'm probably gonna hear it.
Kind of just, finger to the nose, like, mm-hmm.
And Wolfric comes over with the trinket saying, how much for this?
What is it?
Just random trinket.
Oh, okay.
Like random
Piece of
piece of
scrimshaw.
something from the shop.
Oh, okay, sure. It is a carving of a walrus with the inscription "Big Love" on it.
And like I was asking her, how much for this?
Oh, that would be 1 gold piece. It's carved by this lovely fellow down in Targos, don't you know?
Oh, nice. I'll hand over the gold and know where I could get a delivery done to Tourmaline?
No.
Are you trying to get something for your sister?
Yeah, just
We don't exactly have a post office around these parts, I'm afraid.
well, I mean, if you knew someone who might be heading that way.
Wouldn't be surprised if we ended up there again.
There used to be this caravan that went around, but ever since their bodyguard got killed, they got eaten by owlbears.
Or at least that's what we've heard.
Well, I'll ask around.
Okay.
Not all they can say since they couldn't find the body.
I mean, if you want to pay for an extra shipping fee, I'm sure I could arrange something.
Well, how much would that be?
I think one more gold would do the trick.
Sure, since you're so kind.
I am very kind. Holds out her
Thinking to
hand.
myself, I don't know anyone else who would be willing to travel.
So,
And I'll give, Belinda Cole runs Tourmaline Mine.
all right, nice.
This is how FedEx crests are made. You basically created a FedEx quest for someone else.
Yes.
Yes, there's some first level adventurer out there going, all right, this is my opportunity.
Hey,
And then,
awesome.
We have been there.
yeah, what you don't realize is she's actually a level 20 epic level wizard. And she's
Well,
got
as long as
Christmas magic.
So in any case, though, I don't know how much she would pay for a mediocre moose hide. It's
How about a silver piece each?
sure. I feel like more than that. How about a 5 silver each, and
Okay.
and
No.
then you paid more than that back for this scrimshaw thing and for the headship.
yeah, she
Oh, no.
came out on top anyway.
Yeah, that
Funny how
that came
that
out of my money.
Yeah. Oh,
She was very swift.
all right.
Very shrewd.
Yep. All right. So, are you all making your way then to Rowan's mom's house?
Yes.
Sure.
Miss Irish does make great rock candy. She hasn't made it in a few years though.
So,
There's not many delights left in town anyway.
so what does your house look like, Rowan?
It's a three room kind of cabin. My mother's room, my room, and then the common area. It's not overly. It's not fancy by any means. It's actually quite modest. just with the bare functionality. Because when you generally live off the land, you know, fancy accoutrement aren't your thing. And she does dry her own herbs and things of that nature. So there's a lot of that hanging about. You know, there's a lot of furs, and in one small corner near the hearth, there is like trapping equipment and hunting equipment and things of that nature, and a small workbench that she would fix those things at.
Nice. So I think you make your way over there, and you're all heading up towards the front door, and you're getting ready to knock. And I think, Rowan, you have a split second of precognition that you're not going to be able to knock because the door is just going to open and she's going to be standing right there. And sure enough, that is what happens. And she does not look surprised, but she does look pleased, and she just says, "Rowan, welcome home. It's so good to see you. It's been too long." Big hug.
Thanks, Mo. I would like to introduce you to my friends and my travel compatriots. We've been taking care of some odds and ends around Tin Towns.
Oh, well, very nice to meet all of you. Come in out of the. Is that an owl bear?
So, Art, one of my compatriot, Marcher here, has a knack
Marcher waves.
for owl bears. Iggy, they're, well, magically inclined and delightful.
Iggy gives him a side eye, like, all right, what do you need? Who are we fighting that you're buttering me up now?
And Iggy and Ale have saved my life, along with the rest of them, multiple times. Quite competent in a fight.
Mm-hmm. She looks to the rest of you, kind of appraising, and just says, "Is he still showing off with those called shots on the bow?"
Yeah, sometimes.
Can be quite deadly.
Well,
Look,
yes, when
I'm
he hits.
going to bring my friend here, Lila, around to the back so that we don't alarm the common folk. Is there some place in the like a woodshed or something like that we can put him?
Will he be happy out there?
He's just been fed.
Yeah,
Well,
we
then
did some
I
hunting up the way.
well, we have the woodshed that is got some extra space in it at the moment, since the loggers have been a little bit behind their normal production. So
All
I
right,
suppose that
so
will work.
I'll bring Lila out there and try to get him to just calm down and wait and
Okay.
not make a ruckus.
How about an animal handling check?
I was thinking you might ask for
Hmm.
that. It's the 6.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think that you lead him into the shed just fine.
Stay.
And then
Just
you kind of
wait.
edge back around to where you're at the door, and he's kind of, whoop, and then you close the door, and then you get thump against the door. Whoo! Thump! Whoo, whoo!
Open it up before he knocks the shed down.
I open up a window next to the door to see if maybe being able to see into the home will be enough.
Oh, okay. So like where there's an opening into like to see through.
Yeah.
Okay. So like, do you make any noise or anything?
I tell Marcher, see if they'll be okay looking through the window at us, because it's not that big of a place.
I think that this little window is soon like filled with like owlbear
Owlbear
beak,
head.
just like.
I'll sit by that window.
All right.
Just kind of reach up and
I look at my mom. It's a very affectionate owlbear.
Well, I can see that. It seems most of the owlbears that I've encountered are that enthusiastic, but are more likely to just rip your arm off than.
You haven't been trying to encounter them lately, have you?
Well, no,
No,
I've not been seeking out any
please
out
don't
there.
give your mother the impression that this is the normal thing now. I'm as surprised as you are. This is a miracle.
Well,
Considering all the
far
stuff we've run into.
far be it from me to do anything that would worry you. What with you out there traipsing out to Neverwinter and leaving Icewind Dale and tramping all over the wilderness, I'm, I'm giving you a hard time, honey.
So about that,
About that,
we reach into my pack and pull out the 2 vials of poison. We may have run into a problem.
problem.
Two fellows from Neverwinter showed up.
She grabs like a ceramic mug and throws it, smashing it against the far side of the wall, and brings out an elaborate string of curses in Dwarvish about the Lord Doggle Neverember.
So, but now,
Well,
mother,
I think there's sort of a like a moment of that fury, and then just kind of a
we took care of them, and we made it look like they may have been attacked by Yetis.
good.
But to be honest and truthful with my compatriots, I explained to them our circumstances and how, at first glance, it didn't seem like that big of an issue until the body count rose.
Didn't we have an idea to spread rumors that these guys were still operating in order to possibly forestall a replacement?
Yeah.
A little bit.
We should probably get about that.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, and I did tell you so.
I kind of have a look like for a while there. It didn't look like it was going to be, but yeah,
Well,
we came out on
and,
top.
and so I just want everyone here to be witness to how justified I am in saying, I told you so. That I'm entirely justified in this feeling, but I am glad you're okay. Do you think they spotted you out? Do they know the name? What do they know?
They
We
were
still
carrying-
have that. We still have that parchment that they were carrying.
Yeah,
right?
they had a wanted poster. Show them the wanted poster.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Face description.
She's clucking her tongue at the likeness, but then she kind of looks up and just says, "Rowan, your hair."
I've been traveling. It's more natural this way.
All right.
I mean, if I need to cut it, then I will. But I felt more if it was, longer.
I
less
was kind of
control.
thinking part of what she's reacting to is that it's more gray since your experience with the ghost.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
One of the things I was kind of happy about, but also didn't want to upset you. We've had some interactions with the supernatural, ghosts and undead. So it's slightly stressful, of course. But that's to be expected, right? I mean, but we didn't blow up.
Well, honestly, he looks better than I did after that encounter.
I mean, yeah, he only had touched the explosive orb for a little bit.
Rowan, I'm going to ask you a favor that is very difficult for me to ask. I know you are who you are. You got my blood in you. I know that you're going to be going out there and doing dangerous things no matter what I say. And so I would just as soon have you go out with me saying that I love you and I support you and I want you to be careful. But I'm going to request that you stop giving me details that will give me a heart attack.
I didn't touch it. Because you've told me about your days, guiding and adventuring. So random magical items, I'm not touching.
Well, good. I should hope not.
But I mean, someone had to. So, I guess I should. I'm just going to tell you this. I know you don't want me to give you a heart attack, but we kind of made an enemy of the Frostmaiden.
She just told you not to say things like that.
Listen, I'm not going to lie to my mother.
But you could have just kept your mouth shut.
If the Frostmaiden can send undead light-faced creatures to try to kill us, I have to tell my mother.
No, you don't. I don't tell my family about what we're doing either. And when we go back there, you'll see how to handle this situation. This is not the right way to handle this situation. I am so sorry, Mrs. So-and-so. Your son is being an ass.
We have to broker peace between two warring nations. That's worse than this.
They're not warring. They're just kind of
Disagreeing?
Yes, they have
Violently?
With bloodshed?
No. Well, I've been away for a little while, but last I knew, it was not a blood vendetta. It was just it's kind of like a divorce where nobody has actually hit each other, but they just decide they can't live together anymore.
But it was bad enough that a werebear told us about it.
Yes, well, okay, maybe it has gotten worse or not, I don't know. But last I knew, it was just it was not a. I mean, it was just a matter of we don't go over to their house anymore.
It's a Cold War.
See, Mom, Mom, we're good. We're making a name for ourselves.
Yeah, so she was just kind of listening to all of that, just kind of looking back and forth, and then at a certain point, she just goes, "Y'all want some hard cider?"
Yes, please.
That would be lovely.
Sure.
Yes, please.
Perhaps we can tell you how Rowan spotted a Yeti ambush and we drove them into retreat.
And he saved and made friends with Chewingas. They gave him a house and everything.
House?
Sort of.
Yeah, I'll tell you about that. And tell about the charm and all that stuff.
So she does get some. She's got a big cask of hard cider, and she starts pouring for you. I think you all get a ceramic mug. None of them look the same as any of the others.
Oh, no,
all,
of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
None of them match.
And
One of us has got a teacup.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably Iggy because he's a lightweight.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say it should be Marcher because big hand, small cup.
So she pours for all of you, and then when she takes her own mug, she pours and then pours it again before going over to sit down. Well, I have to say, Rowan, I can't say that I didn't know this was coming. You had the makings of an adventurer since you were 2 years old, and you're out there, hunting goblins. Even you just leave the picnic and head off into the swamps to find treasure or to fight monsters. I could never stop you from doing any of that, and I don't think I could stop you now.
Aren't you glad we don't live in a universe with photo albums?
But
taught me well.
I will say that I do feel good knowing that I taught you well, so thank you. You're welcome.
He he is a very competent adventurer. I mean, his arrows have done some incredible things along the way.
And he led Wilfred and I over into 10 towns like a pro.
Through the mountains, it was yeah.
Yeah. That
Well-
march was steady as a drum.
Even though I told him he shouldn't leave Icewind Dale, I'm glad that you hired such a capable ranger as my son. And I'm glad that he has all of you to help him out when you find strange magical artifacts or Yeti ambushes or Duragar or whatever else.
Other than the assassination attempt, I've been on the better side of the things. I mean, I wasn't even stabbed by the invisible Durgar.
That was me.
Yeah.
Well, see, this though is why adventurers belong in a party,
Yes.
because you need someone to have your back, and I hope that all of you are able to have each other's backs, because that's so important.
Now, on a slightly serious note, I did want to tell you these things because if the Frostmaiden can find us generally wherever we are, it may not be as safe as it once was.
Well,
Thing is-
we won't be staying long in town. We have other things to do. But,
Well,
Yes.
you always did reach for the biggest slice of pie.
I like
we should probably mention that the Duergar said that they had a plan to conquer all of 10 towns. So you
yes.
might want to talk to your speaker about being on guard for that sort of thing. We've seen already 2 towns where Duergar were messing about and doing things. So
Wow.
Mm.
I mean, these are troubled times. There's no question about it. I mean, what with the Frostmaiden cursing the land of all things, and Duragar, and Rowan, I'm sure you have noticed this. Something with ordinary animals are behaving strangely as well.
Yes,
we have heard. We've heard rumors.
yes. On the way up here, we've heard we were attacked by an owlbear, and we
Not this owlbear.
this owlbear. I was escorting them into town.
Well, you don't know that for certain.
Well, it was a little far. It was a ways away. I hope.
He could have been following you the entire time.
I
waiting
think,
for a
I
moment.
mean, they saw that owlbear. I think they can tell that it's a different owlbear. But I
I'm
do,
messing with you,
I
don't
do
worry.
think it is kind of funny to imagine that owlbear was literally just following you just out of sight the whole time.
We did leave it food just like we feed Lila.
But yeah, she says that even here in the woods, I've been in these woods for a while, and I like to think that I know them pretty well. But have you heard about this white moose?
Yeah, we were going to try to take care of that. We didn't find it on the way in, however. But
There's something about this moose, Rowan. It's not even just a moose that's attacking people. I think it knows things. It never attacks an armed party. It always knows where loggers are going, and it attacks loggers when they're unprotected. When the loggers go out with armed guards, doesn't show. When the loggers calm down and say, "Oh, well, I guess we're fine, nothing around," it shows up out of nowhere. And then when we send hunting parties after it, nowhere to be found. I feel like something is sending it, or there's something magical afoot.
wouldn't surprise me, seeing as in our travels we've come across, as I said, the Durgar. We've also come across an undead bodyguard who just happened to have a penchant for murdering as it traveled around with a caravan.
And then there's the Devil's Cult.
Yeah.
I
Well,
wonder if this has any if this could possibly be related to Trex. Something similar to what happened to him happened to the
Rex.
moose.
Remind me, the player, what
That
Trex
was
is.
the
oh,
kobold. That was the kobold that was
yeah. Wait,
possessed.
I
Oh
heard
yeah.
about Trex. Isn't he one of the kobolds who's working down at the tourmaline mine?
Yes, now.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Yes,
us.
now he is. That was our
Well,
doing.
that from what I hear, the kobolds have just fit right in down there.
Well, that's
Well,
good
that's
news
good
at
Well, we're
to know.
glad.
least.
Good
We're
to hear.
glad.
Yeah, there's a
It's a
lot of
little.
gossip about just people being impressed at how, like, it's not so much that they're really good at mining, but people seem to just like having them around.
Yeah, it was a little touch and go. I mean, because we were traveling around with three kobolds in a trench coat for a while, but we found them a place to stay.
Yeah.
To stay and work.
That's good.
Yeah.
I know they cause a lot of trouble when they're in large numbers, but I have to say I've always had kind of a soft spot for kobolds. They're just kind of adorable.
And I'm
I,
sure you can guess which one of the party was the one to attract their attention.
I make friends easily. What can I say?
So I have a suspicion. This is something that I've thought for a while, but I'm increasingly sure. I think there's something in the woods that magically misdirects people so they don't find it.
Well, how do you find a thing like that? I mean,
Well,
there must be a key.
I haven't yet, so I think whatever it is, it's something that you don't notice happening at the time. This is something I don't think I would have picked up on at all if I wasn't traveling the woods all the time, and I like to think that I'm pretty good at knowing the area. And there's just every time I go to a certain vicinity of the woods, what I have in my mind at the time is that I'm searching a specific location, and then I search that location and don't find anything, and I come home and realize, wait, did I actually go to the place that I meant to go? And I can't be sure anymore. But I feel in the woods like I did. So something is interfering with my ability to perceive a certain region, or something is convincing me that I have found nothing, or convincing me to go another way without me realizing it. But it's happened enough that I feel like I know a general area where something like that is happening. But the problem is, whatever this magic is, it's literally preventing me from walking straight at it. Now, it's possible that if what the magic is doing is protecting a location, and it's working on the mind, it's possible that if there was something you could, like, if there was something else that you could focus on while making your way to that location, but not thinking about going to that spot, maybe? But I haven't had any luck so far.
Or perhaps the problem is conscious thoughts, and the beast might be able to better pierce that veil.
Well, perhaps. I know that, whatever it is, when I've asked some of the other folks who traverse the woods, none of them had ever sensed anything like that, but it's quite possible that if there's some magical effect that's designed to keep unwanted visitors away, I'm not an expert in this type of magic, but it seems possible that it wouldn't affect beasts the same way.
I wonder if Piccolo would be able to help.
Piccolo and Lily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's worth a try.
Well,
I,
so I don't know if you.
I have to wonder, since it's only affecting loggers. I have to wonder whether this might be another one of these Durgar plots, because they do have some weird magics.
Well, I mean, I can't say that they're not, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to resemble anything that I've heard about for Durgar. People have seen the moose, you
Well,
know. So
This
unless
looks more
they
like
are
nature
controlling the
magic.
moose in some way.
Maybe the moose is too Duragar in a trench coat.
one's the front half of the moose,
Oh
one
man,
is the
I
back half
almost
of the
want that
moose.
to be the answer now.
They're all enlarged shapes from this sort of.
So does anyone have proficiency in Arcana? Wilfred, do you have Arcana?
I do.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wilfred and Iggy can both make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Ooh.
I didn't do well. 12.
21.
21.
Oh, nice.
Okay. With a 21, you think that there are abjuration effects that can have the sort of effect that she's talking about. That generally speaking, if it works as powerfully as she's describing, this is like ancient magic. It's not like a spell that someone could cast today. Because just the idea of having just an effect on an area that just affects, misdirects people without them even realizing it's happened, like that is something that would, at the very least, take many people a long time to set up. And off the top of your head, you wouldn't, like, that there are some elven ruins that can have effects like that. But what you
I
do,
was thinking it's Fae.
well, yeah. I mean, but the other thing that is that it is quite probable that it's so much trouble to set up one of these things that you would tend to have it focus on a creature type. So, like, if it was designed to keep humanoids away, it is quite possible that non-humanoids would be unaffected.
Huh. And that, too bad. Huh.
So you think it's possible that if you could have a non-humanoid try to find it, and then you all are following that, like the creature, like you're only following the creature and not thinking about your surroundings. Like you're only saying, I'm not going to a place, I'm following this creature. That might, weave your way through this effect.
It sounds very reasonable to me. I think it'd be easier to use Piccolo than Lilith for that.
Well, probably easier to have Piccolo understand what you're trying to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But
Well, I wonder, could Piccolo be basically hang on to Lila and guide Lila, like kind of?
I think Lila would look at Piccolo like an hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, that's kind of my instinct, is that without like more interaction between the two, I think Lila kind of does the sort of occasionally glancing up at Piccolo, just like, your time will come, small bite-sized thing.
Yes. A flying tasty snack. Come closer to me.
I wonder what it tastes like.
I'm not hungry
given
enough
given
right
that it's so
now,
warlock familiar.
but
But
yeah. So I think I think, like, based on your understanding of what's being described, you think that if you could have a non-humanoid find the place, and the rest of you just follow them and not be otherwise trying to navigate, that could potentially weave through an effect like this.
Yeah, and I mean, from if uh, we could follow Lola to it, but what we find once we get there, if whoever put that up is still there, yeah, it might not be a fighting thing, might be a talking thing, because
Hmm.
that's a
Well,
that's
I mean, it's
powerful.
clearly it is affecting the local folks, and
Well, I honestly, there have been so many attempts to find this moose, and my own searches as well. It it's doing something magical, or it's associated with something magical, and so I don't know if they're directly connected, but I know that nothing else so far has worked.
I'm not against seeing if Piccolo can find them.
Yeah, I think it's a action plan to try.
it's worth a try. Uh,
All right, so we set out in the morning.
Yep.
yes,
Sounds
and
like a plan.
we will also need a place to buy someplace we can buy food in large quantities, because uh, Lila will be hungry in the morning.
Ah, well,
Yeah, we'll set out in the morning, Mom. We will.
oh, really? This
Oh,
this this plan that you know about because of my input when
And
you're
and
attempting to solve a problem in my town.
and I'm
Dun, dun, dun,
and I'm very grateful.
dun, dun, dun.
But
Perhaps we can have a
our adventures
neutral way of.
never go the way we want them to go.
All the more reason that you should have some extra help.
I'll pat Rowan on the back and said, "Give up now. Just give up now."
If you would like, you can attempt a persuasion check.
I'm not sure you want to succeed on this one.
It's
Yeah.
fine, Mom. If you want to go, it's fine.
Oh, all right.
I get it. I get.
Yeah.
We would be very grateful for your assistance.
Well,
Well, in
How
that
about
case,
this?
I will gladly
It-
provide.
if you want to keep out of arm's reach, stand behind me. I can keep things from hitting.
All right. I'll bring my short sword and bow just in case. All right, so I think that what she suggests as far as buying food, because it's for the owl bear rather than like something like packaged rations, she suggests that like there's a variety of hunters that like that's part of like the business in this town. And
Yeah.
so she says that there's probably just going to be hunter coming back from kill, that you
Right,
just
right.
buy what they've got is probably the way to go. Um, but otherwise, are you just, I think she says, so obviously, it's a little crowded here, but you're all welcome to stay if you want to do that. But it's also if Nimsy has her attic that I know that she's just, you know, she's always looking for people to, make feel welcome. It's just her way. And I think that Rowan, that Nimsy Huddle is a halfling. She is the town speaker, and she is the sort of mama halfling that always has a tray full of gingerbread cookies for anyone who shows up, and she just is, delighted to have well-behaved guests stay in her attic um, if they need a place to stay.
Yeah,
I, th-
I think Ig will not impose on Rowan's mom.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like we can go there and get set up. Those cookies are good too, by the way.
I think um, Lila and I will stay in the backyard for this. I don't
Well,
think this
yes,
will be.
Nimsy is a welcoming soul, but the owlbear is probably a lot to ask.
Yeah. So I'll be fine. I'm the cold doesn't bother me that much. So
The cold never bothered you anyway. It's all
and
right. I'll let it go. So
I think it would only be proper for a Rowan to stay here.
Stay with mom.
Yep.
Is that's been too long, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to move all this stuff off your bed, but that's fine.
At least she didn't rent it out.
Are you trying to again?
I'm sorry. What? I didn't hear what
Are
you.
you drying herbs in my room again?
Well, it's just like I'm not going to dry them outside, and there's a lot. It's room that's not being. I'll move them.
he's teasing you.
I mean, it's fine. Just the last time I didn't get the smell of that onion thing out of my.
Yeah,
out of my
I think
herbs.
she heads in there, and you hear her like muttering to herself about like, the dried herbs actually smell really nice. It's better than if it's all musky and stuffy. And but yeah, so is everyone else heading out to the speaker's house?
I think
Yeah.
halfway
Yeah.
hospitality is a better option for
Yeah.
us.
Sure.
Yes.
Because there's plenty of room there. So I think what you find there is that where is hang on. So yeah, Nimsy Huddle, the town speaker, tempts you with freshly baked halfling-shaped cookies. Her house was clearly built for humans, but most of the furniture is sized for halflings, with a few big chairs for visitors of taller stock. 4 halfling children scamper from room to room and climb a ladder up to the loft, chasing one another with wooden swords, while a fire crackles in the hearth in Speaker Huddle's cluttered kitchen. And she, welcomes you. I imagine you let her know that, you were just talking with Rowan's mom, who I don't think I said, but is Fiona Rigger. But so in any event, she presses upon you that like, oh, if you're in town to deal with that moose, that would be great. Have a cookie.
I'll take a cookie.
So here's a question. This is a reasonably good stopping point right here. Or if you wanted to keep going a little bit and maybe see if you actually get to this place and then maybe stop there. What do you guys think?
Um, let's. I'm fine for a little while longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did we basically hunt? Did the hunt take us past this night of the sacrifice?
No, that's tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So basically, if you stay the night tonight, the next day is new moon.
Okay.
Yeah. But Lonelywood is not one of those that does human sacrifice.
Right. Yeah. They do food, and so I think as you're sort of getting settled up there in
Maybe
the
get them
attic,
to sacrifice the food to my owlbear.
well, I think that they're yeah. So basically, what they smaller towns that can't afford to give up people give up their food instead. So a day's catch of knucklehead trout is strung up on wooden racks a mile outside of town to be claimed by Yeti and other creatures that embody Oral's wrath, is how that works. And so it's like basically she's kind of saying that like you're guests of the town, you're not expected to chip in or anything. But at the same time, the whole point is to avoid Oral's wrath, so to the extent that you don't chip in reflects on you potentially with her, so like you make of that what you will. But yeah, I think that there is, even though it's a little bit reassuring that it's food and not like humanoid or having to sacrifice warmth, at the same time there's a little bit of a sense of like the only reason they don't do like humanoid is considered like the places that do that, you don't want to be the one sacrificed, but for everyone else, that's the sort of sacrifice that like actually appeases Oral more. The food is like, so hey Oral, we actually don't have enough people who live in this town to give you a person every month. We would just have our whole town be depleted pretty quickly if we did that. So we're going to give you food instead. Hope that's okay. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, oh yeah, yeah, we just give her some fish, which is fine. It's more like, we hope this offering is all that we can give you, and we hope that this will appease you enough that you don't wipe us off the map with snow.
Well, before we leave town, because we may not be coming back depending on what happens, I think we should buy some more food for Lilla. So I'm going to ask you to chip in again. And I think this time we should get 10 days instead of 5. Which means I'm going to need 18 gold from each of you. And myself, too.
Okay, 18 gold. We'll mark it off.
Right. So what was being asked? For Marcher?
For more food for Lilla.
That how much from everybody?
18.
Okay.
So I'm now carrying 180 pounds of meat on my back. And I'm not encumbered.
I was tempted to say that you needed to pay more for the food than usual because it's like it's on the day that they're actually.
Yeah.
But I think that there is a little bit of a sense from a lot of these hunters and fishers that it's like normally they have to take this food, like they have to travel with it somewhere to buy it. Like there's some people buy it in town, but like some of it needs to be exported, right? And so
Right.
so there's a little bit of a, usually the food we bring in on the new moon day is for that, but maybe it'll be okay if we do this. But I think so I'm not going to have you actually have to pay more, but what I'll just say is that like you do get the feeling from some of these hunters and fishers that are selling you like no one will sell you, like you have to go to several different people to get as much as you need because no one's willing to give you all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. So we probably spend a fair amount of the day, of the morning at least, doing this.
Yeah. All right. So I'll go ahead and advance the clock. It is the
Hey, I have an idea. What if we're spending if we're spending part of the the entire morning, wouldn't Rowan and his mom have a chance to, or wouldn't Rowan have and some of us have a chance to go out hunting to like replace or supplement?
I mean,
what
yeah. I mean, you can do that if you want. It wouldn't take all of you to buy the food for Lilla.
Yeah.
What I was expecting is that you're handing me your money and then I'd go around and do that.
Yes, which would it'd be like, all right, I know we're taking this already butchered meat that would normally be, used as a sacrifice. Can we give you this moose as, our sacrifice to supplement what you're going to give them? To supplement your thing. Just kind of like as a, thank you for not overcharging us. We know we're putting your lives at risk. We really appreciate your help. Because it's not like the Frostmaiden doesn't hate our guts, and helping us might actually.
Oh, so you're going to catch some, but then just like donate it as part of the town's food sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was my intent.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's great. I think that when you offer, I'm not going to make you like roll to get some stuff just because like that's part of Rowan's thing as a ranger is that like he can just do that. He can just forage and get. Oh, I've got a little dog who's impatient. But yeah, so I think you catch some some game and you offer it up, and you get some people who just. I think everyone looks a little bit extra haunted, and because this has been going on long enough, I think certainly Rowan, you've been through this before, and I think you've probably seen the process in some of the other towns too. Like there's always a little bit of an edge on on people's nerves on the new moon day, just because there's this feeling of like, this is not a prayer and an offering to a benevolent, loving God. This is like, please, we give you this in the hopes that you will leave us alone and not kill us all tonight.
Yeah.
And so there's always just kind of this hope of like, is that going to get it done, or are we in trouble? That sort of thing. And so everyone's a little on edge, but certainly giving over more food to be offered up to make the town's offering bigger is appreciated from the people organizing it.
Yeah.
All right. So I think you guys can probably spend the morning arranging for all of that, the food purchases and the additional offering. Um, so Fiona, Rowan's mom, suggests that she knows the approximate location that's about 2 hours out. That she thinks that's the general vicinity where something is happening. So she thinks that's the place to start.
All right. Then we will head out there to that and do
All
that.
right.
And Piccolo, it's all you.
He does a little triumphal trill. Sticks his little chest out. Looks all proud of himself.
So what are you telling Piccolo to do? Because you guys are, you're heading into the into the woods,
Mhm.
and so you have a general sense that there is something in this general vicinity that causes you to be misdirected away from something without even realizing it's happening.
Uh-huh. So I think that's basically what I'm going to tell him, is that we are looking for the hidden place.
Okay.
That somewhere in this vicinity, someone does not want us to go.
All right.
And so we're looking for that place.
Are you keeping him within your sort of range of communication, or are you telling him search all over
I
and then come back?
I have voice of the chainmaster. He just has to be on the same plane of existence as me.
Oh wow. Okay. And you can see through his senses and stuff
Mhm.
still?
Yep.
Okay. I think that let's have, you know what, let's not belabor this. I think that this is a good plan, that's a clever solution to this problem. And so I think that it takes a little while of you searching around with Piccolo, but then you spot from the air what looks like a big sundial, except there's something weird about it that you're not sure you understand what it is from the air. You would have to probably get closer, because it's shaped like a sundial, but it's also like it doesn't look quite right.
Okay.
But nonetheless, you've certainly found something. And when I say a big sundial, I mean like the big like circular part is like 30 feet across. So it's
wow.
big.
That's some sundial.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's clearly a set of ruins of some kind.
Okay. So I will turn to Rose. Mom's like, ruins in the woods. There's a large sundial that we can see from the air.
That that must be it, or at the very least, I've never seen it before. So even if it's not the thing, it would certainly still be worth investigating.
Okay.
So how do we do this? Perhaps we should all like tie ourselves together with rope or something, and have Piccolo sort of lead us along. I just worry with the
Yeah.
magic that if we try to just go ourselves, we'll find ourselves going the wrong way without realizing it.
Mm-hmm. Uh, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. Um, One of the, in a meta sense, one of the nice things about the pseudo dragon is that they have magic resistance to magical effects, and that when he's within 10 feet of me, I share that resistance.
Okay.
So, even if what we do is Piccolo, kind of orients himself, and then, I'm following his directions.
Right. Well, how about this? I will just go ahead and offer that what you guys all eventually work out is that you sort of all tie yourself together, and the idea is that you will hold Piccolo. He will essentially like tell you where to go, and you're like looking down at him,
Right.
and he's like, pointing, and you walk in that direction looking at him, and everyone else like just focus on the rope.
Right.
And try that.
Okay.
And so I think you get to that actually after trying it with a less elaborate way a couple of times, and you keep finding yourselves like, wait, what are you doing all the way over there? What I thought we were going this way. Wait, no, wait, where are we going? That sort of thing. So I think you find out that like it seems to take, like you keep sort of just wandering off without realizing it otherwise.
Okay.
So, but eventually you do. This works. This is a clever solution to this plan, and so let's get you on that map. Okay. So this is another dark map, I think. So let me put your tokens on, and I might have to get them lit up. Yeah. Rocket. Yes, I know you're impatient, little dog.
While we're waiting, Marcher kind of settles up to Rowan as we're walking along, and just kind of leans in confidence and says, "If we get into another fight with your mother here, perhaps now is a good time to leave off the fancy shit and just shoot the enemies.
So
Center of mass, that kind of thing."
I've just shared a
Maybe
handout with everyone that
just
this
say,
is this is what Fiona looks like. So, just a handout for Fiona, and we got her as a token here too. And then let me get you all your light spells so that more than just the people with dark vision can see. Oops.
Marcher, if I muck this up slightly, I'll never hear the end of it. Ever.
So we're getting everyone with the. Let's see, I got Ale and Rowan. Here, I'm not going to do everyone with the light right now because I don't think we're going to do a lot of it here with, but everyone can kind of see the corner of the map, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So what you see as you approach this, so as you're approaching what you see here in the woods, you're just in the middle of the woods. There's kind of a rocky cliffside to your left, and then you see what looks like a ledge that's about 10 feet tall, but in front of it 6 elevated white marble statues arranged in a line depict slender robed figures facing northward. The engraving on their faces has been worn away by the wind, but pointed ears make the statues identifiable as elves.
Hmm.
So each of those statues is a life-size statue, and each of them is standing on a 7-foot high base.
We think they have found something. Do we want to?
Yeah, I think Fiona is looking at you, Rowan, and just like in kind of shared acknowledgement, like not seen this in this forest before, and we've been all through this forest.
I just return a look of confusion because again,
Yeah,
this is
it's
old.
weird. This is literally like discovering that someone built a big gazebo in your backyard, and you just somehow never noticed.
Big metal monolith.
Yeah, yeah. Or a gingerbread one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so this ledge here, if you guys are seeing this, that's 10 feet tall. So it's up from where you are.
That's interesting. Wonder what this place is.
I'm a little worried about going between those statues. Sometimes those can be sentries. This does not look.
Or set something off as soon as we cross the cross the boundary or approach them.
They are facing north,
Mm-hmm.
which is a good thing. Don't see any warnings.
Do they have glowing red eyes?
They do not. Their faces are completely worn away by the wind, which is creepy in its own way.
Yeah.
Well, there
right.
seems to be an opening.
So,
over there.
Wilfred, as you march between the two statues, nothing happens.
Uh-huh.
Nothing happens.
Wilfred's got a Wilfred.
Yeah,
First
yeah.
I will
So
walk
yeah,
in.
you don't notice or feel or detect anything.
Is this a door over here?
I don't think anything happened.
Yes, there is a gap. So there is both a gap in the ledge that leads out into something that you'll see when you get over there, and then there is also a door that looks like it's in the cliff face. It is embedded in the hillside. South of the circular indentation is a stone door with no visible handles or hinges.
Okay. And I'm going to peek through the opening
Mm-hmm.
in the cliff here and say, all right, so there's the sundial thingy.
Yeah. So as you're looking through into that, through that area, rising from the center of the circular depression is a tall triangular crystal gnomon, a device one typically finds in the middle of a sundial. It is thick near the base and narrows to a sharp point at the top. The snow around the gnomon has melted away, revealing a circle of symbols carved into the stone around it. The symbols depict phases of the moon, suggesting that the circular depression is not a sundial, but a moon dial. And in particular, you note that the new moon symbol is glowing.
Whoa.
Also, something has punched a rough hole in the wall in the northwest edge of the depression, creating a dark opening that leads under the hill. You can't see that from where you are, but if you move further in there, you will.
You said the Namen? Is that what it's called?
Well, it's the tall point sticking up from the center of this moon dial.
Yeah.
Yep.
GNOMON.
Right. If those graphs are
made of
that'd be a
crystal?
wave.
I'm sorry, what? No, it is crystal, but it does not look like Charlene.
Okay. All right, we gotta ask.
Oh, sure. It is a reasonable question. The answer is it does not look like Charlene.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, Rowan, you coming?
Yes. Let's see. Do I see? Can I see the hole in the wall from here?
It's right here.
hey guys, there seems to be a hole here, so we don't have to worry about trying to open that door. It looks like.
That's
Hmm.
worthwhile to take a look.
So,
take it.
as you look through that hole, you see that there's a 10-foot drop into the interior below, but you also see within a white moose.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I think that's probably where we will stop
Yeah.
for
Cliffhanger!
tonight.
Have we got? I noticed that you didn't put Lilla on this map. Is it?
Oh, I
is-
did.
is-
Yeah, I just forgot. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's for next time. You know.
Sure, I'll just bring out Piccolo and Lilla as well. I need to make like an NPC token for Lilla rather than using just the snowy owlbear generic one. That way, I can give you control of it.
Ah.
I'll remember to do that, but for next time. But yeah, so you managed to penetrate the elven magic that directed people away from this place, searching for the giant white moose, and you have found it.
Yay! Now what do we do?
And problem solved. You can all go home and have some more hard cider. Okay, so we will find out more about what happens here next time. Is that going to be January 2nd? Does that work for everyone?
Good for me.
Yep.
Great.
The day after New Year's.
Yes. So we will be back then next week for more
Next
adventure.
year.
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah.
Next year.
See you next year. Huh? More silly jokes on so many levels.